Hello and welcome to DCP Live, episode number 174. Welcome, guys.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, everybody.
Thanks for having me. It's been a long time. I haven't been on the show. I can't remember.
Great to have Briar
Forever, right?
Our special guest this week, the one and only.
Yo,
Rabbit Briar.
MesaSean, welcome back to the show, man.
Guys, thanks for having me back. It's been a long time. A lot of things have changed.
I bet.
Since I've been on the show and stuff, considering I have a PC sitting here and not my console. So I've switched to the dark side.
You've gone to the frame side?
Well, once they sent me the meme of you, Tefty, and it said unlimited frames, I had
Whoa. There's a meme with my face out there that says unlimited frames.
It was a picture of you from your music video, and it just says unlimited frames, like that.
From the music video?
I have not seen this.
From the
This is
music
ridiculous.
video.
Amazing.
Oh, we gotta find this.
I assume it's because it's got like the sunglasses on and the hat.
Well,
We don't need
serious,
details.
like,
We definitely don't need
not even-
details.
I need an explanation.
Are there any
In
light
depth.
bulbs in the background?
It's from that video, I think. I think you had a fur coat on, I think, or something like
Yeah,
that.
no, okay, cool. So how's the PC life doing? Yeah.
I am loving it, man. I mean, like the speed, like one is the field of view for me is just a huge thing, and
It's the biggest thing
frames,
for me. Yeah.
obviously. But like just flying into a landing zone, it takes 2 seconds. You know, like when I do
Unless
my
the
Xur video,
tower, right?
well, the tower could be a little slow depending on how many people are there. But if I'm going to find where Xur is for a Xur video, it's like, okay, I find out where he is. I'm there in 2 seconds. You know, when I want to pull up my bounties or quests or anything, that's really fast. But it's
And
really
that was so important, right? Because recently we've had a bunch of quests and missions where we're going back and forth between so many places. And on PC, you know, you can kind of jump between the two really fast. But on console, I can imagine that is quite the journey.
yeah. Oh
So
yeah,
you-
definitely like the slowness, everything. It's
So
just
you're saying the
booting up the
PC,
game.
the PC lifestyle has actually helped you be more productive in your content creation.
More productive, but then also I met, you know, because I stream on YouTube and I have
right.
channel members.
Mhm.
So with it's like kind of like Twitch subs. So I've got a group that I play with that are on PC, and you know we do the raids every week. We do weekly activities. You know they stream with me and stuff, and you know just made a great group of friends who know a lot more about PCs than I certainly do. I mean they help me in terms of you know any problems I might have, but I haven't had any problems with this thing so far, except for leading up to getting it was a bit of a nightmare, but that's
Really, what
probably another
happened?
story. Well, all right. So I ordered it from CyberPower PC, right?
Okay.
And I went all out. I mean, like I had friends help me spec it out because it's been a long time since I actually knew what was good and what was not. And it's a monster. I get it. And then like I think it was like maybe a day and a half in, I'm at the end of a Gambit match and it locks up. I get like it just freezes. And then I start getting this looping thing where it keeps looping over and over. Then I go in and I find that one of the fans is just not spinning because I have a liquid coolant like the Corsair. And then I go in and I start doing a little fiddling around and I feel like, and there's 2 wires coming from the fan. One's not even effing plugged in. It's literally not plugged into anything. It's plugged into something that's not plugged into anything, right? So I call them and then they say, okay, now the fan works, right? Then all of a sudden, it just keeps doing this looping thing, and then we determine that the 2080 Ti just is blown or whatever this and that.
Oh,
so
that's
this
too
is
bad.
really we're closing in on Shadowkeep launching, right? And I was playing on an old 2016 gaming laptop, which worked great, and because D2 I feel runs on low settings fine for me.
It does. It
It'll
really
run
does.
on
Yeah.
anything.
Mm-hmm.
It runs great, you know, and I just plug my Vantage 2 in. I'm fine with that. And then they sent me a label to ship it back, but they're located in California. And I tried to pull the YouTube card. I've had 270,000 subscribers. Listen, I need this. I got to stream. I got to do this, blah, blah, blah. I'll make a huge video about you guys, you know, da, da, da. Then they send me a ground label. And then it takes 7 days for them to get it back, you know, and then I'm on the phone with them bugging the living heck out of them to get it fixed. And then they fixed a bunch of stuff. They gave me a new graphics card. They rush shipped it. It was still a couple of days. And then luckily I've not had a problem since then. And I've just been, just loving it, you know. And then I even pulled up, do I dare bring up the word Anthem? I pulled up Anthem when I was
What's wrong?
just bored
Yeah,
one
man.
time, and I was blown away how Anthem looked. I played Star Wars Battlefront 2 on
So
it.
nauseous right
Just-
now from hearing
a good
Anthem.
looking
Oh,
game.
man.
God.
And just every game I have played on it, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, as just the frames, man. It looked.
Them
We just played
frames.
Battlefield a couple weeks ago, and we were all blown away by how good
Yeah.
that game looks.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
plays.
Battlefront.
Battlefront, my bad. Whatever.
Based on the engine that was
Wait,
built
no,
on
Battlefront 2, right? Yeah.
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 He
Yeah.
said Battlefield, but
Oh.
He said
we
Battlefield.
know.
yeah.
Oh, did I say Battlefield? I'm sorry, Battlefront 2. Yeah,
No,
Star
I
Wars
did, I
Battlefront
did.
2. Oh,
who
okay.
is on first?
Yeah. Well, so, Sean, you know what's interesting is I think that's the number one concern that most people have when jumping into PC is getting something and it's just not right. Something's wrong. Like it crashes. Like that's one of the big concerns. You know?
Yeah.
Especially
real
when you
bummer.
spend that kind of money on it.
Yeah.
Well, I have friends, you could just go to Best Buy and get just a decent PC, and D2 is going to run and look really good. I mean, as a content creator, I just wanted a really expensive one to have the best parts so I can produce the best content with
Yeah.
Shadow Play and have the best graphics. But on my 2016, can we curse on here?
Yeah.
Shitty gaming laptop, it ran and played good and looked good too.
Sean's so
But
polite.
you could just get a regular PC, not even a laptop, and just get a decent gaming monitor or normal monitor, and it's still going to run and play good. You don't have to learn mouse and keyboard. I don't use mouse and keyboard. I just use my Scuf Vantage 2. And you like to make the jump into PC. If the new PS5 or Xbox is going to be a couple of $100 or whatever in this and that, you could spend a little bit more
Probably
and get a
400,
really nice
450.
PC. If you already have a monitor to play your console on,
Mhm.
you might consider. But I'm guessing.
Even if you don't putting a computer on a TV looks great.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
I'd love to try that actually. But I mean, like the way I think about it is more than likely this PS5 and this new Xbox is probably going to do more frames. And do
Easily.
you think they'll do the longer field of view? Because that's a huge, big
I
game
hope
changer
so.
for me.
I think
I
there'll be
hope-
more
yeah, I
parity
hope
because
so.
because the reason that there's not as much field of view is because they can't process as much.
Oh,
And now
okay.
there will be more parity, but inevitably, right, 3 years down the road, if there's a new game, you might run into problems like that still, depending on.
Because if I
I
try
hope
to,
they baseline though better.
But Destiny won't have that problem anymore. I'm pretty confident.
yeah, because if I try to go back to console, like we were talking before the show, is I get so dizzy so easily because of the field of view and because of the frames. My aim is the scope is too, because I use a chattering bone for PvP. The scope is just like, it feels like it went from here to now it's like here. God bless True Vanguard, because I think True Vanguard plays PvE on PC and then PvP on a PlayStation
console.
4.
Yeah.
I'm like, how does he switch between the two? Because we
He's
shared
mental.
footage.
That's
Because we
He
shared
sets
footage.
his PC to 30 frames, 70 field of view.
Does he really do that?
No, I don't
Oh,
think
okay.
so.
Probably not.
I was gonna say because we
You get
shared
different
footage
clips.
at the Shadowkeep capture event, and I was getting nauseous because he uses mouse and keyboard, man, and his like turning and stuff. Like I was getting nauseous just because I'm one of those that
Whip it
gets
around.
seasick really easily when it comes to like boats or spinning around. And so that's why like when I do my Muay Thai training, I have a hard time doing spinning back kicks because as soon as I do it, I'll land it. Then I'm kind of like I need to kind of just refocus for a little bit there. But man, like that guy, he doesn't miss a shot. Let's just put it that
no,
way.
he's really good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. So yeah, that's a big thing. A lot of people that don't necessarily fully realize how much that can affect you going from high FPS, wide field of view PC gameplay, then switching to that low field of view. And it's more so the field of view than the frames. The frames,
100%
obviously,
is.
yeah, the frames will affect it for sure, but the field of view can make you feel claustrophobic and can induce.
I get
feel
that
broken,
really
yeah.
bad. I get the claustrophobic thing really bad because I remember I went to console and I was doing something where I had to go in lost sectors. And most lost sectors, you're going through a tiny cave for the entrance. And I was just like, I don't know where I am. I can't see. I can't figure it out. I'm lost. I'm stuck. Please get me out. It was really bad. But I think that's why like I can go and play other games that are 30 FPS and it's fine. I feel great. Because like Monster Hunter, that's not a high frame rate, but it's third person. So you're pulled back enough to where you don't have that experience. But going from the high field of view on an FPS to then the low is wow.
Yeah, that's
Do you
where.
feel like we're
Watts. So do you switch from between console and like PC?
I used to. I haven't for a long time because I started getting headaches when I went back to console.
Oh, okay.
I would like to, because there's still a bunch of people that I would love to play with. But yeah, I think especially the longer you go with just PC only, you go back, it's gonna take me like a week.
Yeah.
With any,
It's funny how fast that happens to you. Like you lose the ability to like deal with it, even though you've been playing on it for like 5 years. You know.
I was gonna say, with any luck, we're what 7.5 months away from like those console people. Hopefully, we'll get the new consoles, and maybe we can even crossplay for all we know. But like, hopefully, that'll all be fixed. Then you can still play with those people without having to go back to what we're talking about.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to play in my living room at 60 FPS, like
hell yeah,
natively. You know. As opposed to using Stadia or like some kind of game stream service.
Might as well ask Sean that. Actually, this always comes up on the shows. We may have asked you last time, but tell us if we did. Do you think, come this September, October, Sean, that there's going to be a Destiny 3 or a big like expansion, or like what is your thought? And then do you even think there's a Destiny next or Destiny 3 happening anytime soon?
I don't think anytime soon. I feel like I'm getting the impression that they keep phasing out older content. Like, when was the last time anyone's gone to the Dreaming City, right? There's no reason to go there whatsoever. And I'm getting the feeling that they're pushing us in a direction to do where content they want us to do, which usually is the most relevant or the most recent. So right now it's a big, like the big expansion is Shadowkeep, and then it builds off, and people need to set their expectations correctly. Like Season of Dawn is a $10 season. Season of Worthy, or whatever it's called, like the next one, that's going to be $10. That's the data miners said that. So I think we're going to get another expansion. I have a feeling Destiny 3 is probably going to be on hold because we don't know what happened with regards to Activision and the split from Bungie. Because I would assume a brand new title with brand new development and everything is going to cost a lot of money. And you would need a big publisher to dump all that money in. I don't know what kind of capital they have. I know that Bungie did get that investment of $100 million from NetEase, and I know they're big into the mobile gaming, and that they now have a seat on the board of directors. I heard or read in one of those articles. And
at NetEase, you mean?
Is that the name of the company? I think.
Yeah. You're saying the board
NetEase.
of directors there? Oh, probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I heard, or I think I read that in Kotaku. I think so. I think we'll get another expansion. And then more seasons, I think. And because on the Vidoc, we all zoomed in and it said year 4, year 5, year 6, year 7. I personally would like to see a Destiny 3 at some point, you know what I mean? Just because, and some people may ask me, well, why? Why don't you just want to, because I know people get attached to their guns and their roles, and they have, but for me, it's like, there's nothing like, and I know we're in a digital age here, but there's nothing like getting a new product and peeling off the plastic and smelling it. It's new and putting it in and seeing, a brand new Guardian, or maybe you bring your Guardian over and they have nothing. You got to start from scratch, and new destinations, a whole new world, and starting off with zero power and having, a whole new storyline. And I really thought it was going to be all about the pyramid ships. And to me, the pyramid ships are the most fascinating thing to me in the game. And I'm just dying to know more about them. What do they look like? Are they, because in a recent article with Robbie Stevens, he said that there's some sort of cosmic beings. Okay. So there is going to be some sort of enemy race that we haven't seen yet. And we know in the early concept art, they showed I think it was 5 races, and the extra race, it showed pyramids, and it showed some sort of like dark looking thing with like weird smoke, like coming off it. So it's obviously some sort of alien beings that we haven't seen just yet. Will they tell that story through the next years? But also in the Vidoc, one last thing. Do
you think that's going to be next fall? Seeing those enemies?
I think so, because they kept saying
this fall
in the Vidoc.
Sorry, this fall, yeah.
Yes,
I was just making
this fall, because in the Vidoc, one of them was it Robbie Stevens. He did say, one of them said that by season 4, it's going to culminate into this just absolute epic, mind-blowing crescendo.
I think Luke was talking about that too. Like this whole year.
So that would be this summer then, right? Season 4?
Season 4 would be the summer leading into September, which would be then year 4.
Yeah.
So
they talked about an arc, that it would build and you'd have to be there for these moments, but really they didn't use this word, but I think the culmination. And so that was the way I understood it too. Like something's going to happen this summer, and it'll probably be the big drop before we're like, wait, or the ship's back, or whatever.
Yeah.
What if this new race, hear me out, brings a new subclass.
Because
Because I think that's what we really need,
I don't
right?
see it
Like a new
happening.
subclass switches up everything. It gives you a new element on the gun, a
The
new
green
element for everyone to work with. Like a new subclass
supers, new
severely
special moves, new
switches it up.
grenades.
Exactly.
I'd be way down for that.
It'd be amazing.
if it
That's what
happened.
we need.
We've
We
been
need a new
wanting that
subclass.
since Destiny 1,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
after they
What
just
about
expanded them.
What about the whole? Because all the rumors before the split was D3 is going to be Dark Guardians and PvEVPE, like the Dark Zone from
Right.
the Division, which
That's
I
the
loved. And
Yeah.
it was going to be one of those like open world sections where it's PvE and PvP and stealing people's loot and stuff. That was the big rumor, like going around. You have to go in and pick a side of what kind of Guardian do you want to be. Do you want to be the bad guys, siding with the bad guys? I don't know. But to me, that would have been a pretty cool storyline to tell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be amazing.
Yeah. I was going to say, just the follow up to what you were talking about with D3. And like for me personally, one of the reasons I would like to see a new entry into the franchise is I think D2 fundamentally had flaws for the action RPG where they want to go with it. And even though it's gotten tremendously better over the past 2-3 years where it started, it still suffers a lot from that because like people want new stuff. But at the end of the day, it's like you've still seen all these archetypes of weapons and you've seen all these outlaw, rampage, the damage, reload perks. They all permeate the same type of stuff. So it's very hard for them to add new. Sean was adjusting his camera, throwing me off right there.
So right now, I love it.
Sorry about that. My Logitech is not working.
Gotcha.
You guys
You're
have
fine, man.
You guys have all these beautiful DSLRs, and
Your
I've got
cam
my
looks fine, dude.
Logitech. With
You look
marble
great,
lighting.
Sean. It's beautiful. I can see your
Thank you.
guitars over there. It's awesome.
Oh, thank you.
But I think the fundamentals of D2 need to be fixed for an action RPG future. So loot is interesting again. But a new subclass thing, like you were saying, Watts, that would definitely help. It wouldn't fix it, in my opinion, but it would definitely help to further what we have right now in
It
D2.
would add a lot. Even if we just had a new subclass drop and they didn't add anything else to the game, I think that would switch up the game more than any of the seasons that they could do. Just because of the vast amount of new builds that you can do, new things that you can, like just the new weapons, right? That's a whole new thing. New shields that they can add to enemies. Like it changes.
Learning to deal with
quite
it
a
in
lot.
PvP, because you got to fight with it and against it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it would be fun for PvP, but actually for PvE, if that's all we got, I would be like, no. I'm just getting.
I'm
bored
just
of the
saying
flow
in
of
terms of
current play.
switching up the game, like that
I'm not gonna
switches up the
complain
game
about it.
than like a Sundial, right?
Yeah, but the mods this season switch it up a little bit too. But I'm like, ugh, I don't care. Like, meaning I'm not disagreeing that it would be fun, Watts. By the way, I'm with you on that. But I just don't. For me, I need new content to play. Period.
I mean, they would
New
never
maps,
they would never
new-
release like a DLC
No.
season that was just a new subclass. But I'm saying in terms of content that they can give us, that would switch up the game and make it feel fresh a lot more than anything else that they can bring in a season.
Yeah, I was just saying it would be fun, but personally, for me, it's not like I'd be excited to go back through a raid with a new subclass. Like I'm sort of,
I feel
I wouldn't be excited about it. That's all I'm saying. I need
If
the
you
content.
combine-
That's how I play Destiny. That's me.
But if you combine that idea with a new subclass and a killer activity, that's just a win-win
That'd be great.
situation.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, something really, really fun, a new subclass. But back to to what Watt said, builds with Season of the Undying and with Shadowkeep. My biggest videos and what I had the most fun with was the seasonal artifact and creating builds. Whereas I feel like Season of the Dawn, I'm not feeling the seasonal artifact.
It's pretty
what am I
dry.
running? I'm running double bomber, double distribution. I'm running more standard mods than I am just a regular breach resonator, or I'm not really messing with it. Whereas I felt like in Season of the Undying, I constantly was fiddling for every activity, whether it was Garden of Salvation, or if it was just whatever it was, the dungeon, constantly tweaking I'm switching to my Void subclass on my Warlock. Now I'm going to switch to this. I'm going to start I have to have a class item that's Void. I got to have and there's a lot in there, but also it led to, I was happy when all the stats came back, but I feel like with 6 stats, I'm not paying attention to that anymore whatsoever. I'll look at intellect and discipline, and that's it. I'm not looking at the others. Where I should be but I feel like I can just augment those stats with mods now. You know, like if I feel like I'm taking too much damage or my recovery sucks, I'll just throw on some recovery mods, you know, whereas back with Season of the Undying, I cared a little bit more about it, but I feel like 6 stats is too much to keep track of. I feel like there's too many numbers. Like, just keep it to 3, like it was in Destiny 1.
Actually, I think it has more to do.
There's no content in the game that requires me to do any of this, to interact with any of this.
Partially, but I also think that the stats just don't really affect your builds that much. I mean, you'll get a faster cooldown for your dodge or whatever, but it's not groundbreaking changes for how those stats end up stacking up. It's just redistribution from what we had before. Not the perk, but like redistribution of how the stats are.
The most interesting thing in Season of Dawn was the Charged with Light mods, but there was zero introduction to them. I could probably say there's probably a large portion of the player base that doesn't even know that they're a thing.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah.
Like a tutorial.
I finally bought my first ones the other day.
They don't explain it. They don't
Only
explain
because
anything about it.
Only because my comment section, because I asked them in a video, I said, have any of you guys bought any of these, and what do you use? And a number of them said, buy this, buy this, buy this, and I was looking at them and like they look cool, but I love the regular mods. Like I don't want to use like.
I think to your earlier point too, like they needed to put more of that in the artifact itself. It's like whatever, like the third row is like a bunch of glimmer and like gunsmith benefit. It's like, dude, put some Charged with Light stuff in there, because then at least I have to choose and like I just have to put it.
Then you have to read it.
That's a big missed
sort of
opportunity.
introduced it to you. To your point, it's like it forces it. Like, oh, it's yellow. You know.
Do you think they might have thought there was too many overpowered things, or too much fun, or I don't want to use that.
Yeah, they thought it was too much fun. We see that pattern.
That fun meter's broken.
Too much fun. And
is that a smile I detect? Fuck
and
that.
oppressive darkness and things like that we overused. I'm not going to use the term abused. And they said, all right, we got to dial it back a little bit and this and that. And I knew they were going to change up the weapons that we would put on our anti-barrier rounds and all that sort of stuff. And that, you know, I missed my auto rifles with anti-barrier rounds because I was so used to using that. So now, okay, I'll put my overload rounds on them. But even then, I'm just using Randy's with anti-barriers for everything.
Same.
Much, for anti-barriers.
So good too.
Same.
Yeah, it is good.
Yeah, that's another thing too, is that like those mods are interesting, but only relevant for a fraction of the content that you play right now.
Yep.
Like the 980 ordeal or the Nightfall ordeal. It's like, that's it. Or the champions even the champions in the Sundial, you just melt regardless. You don't even really care about cracking their shield, right?
Yeah. So go back to my original question, which was sort of like what we thought might happen in September, and I have the related usual question too. First, I just want to say I have a theory, which is if we go back, I always look at development, like, you know, go through the habits of what developers did. So we got, Destiny 1, then we got Taken King, and then we got Rise of Iron. And then we moved on to Destiny 2, which is what we're facing now, which is why it's such a relevant question. I think of like, wait, are we going to blow up the tower and move on? Which I think most people are like, no, I just don't see that happen. So I think for the first time, because we got Forsaken, which was pretty meaty, and then we got Shadowkeep, which, you know, wasn't bad, but it was not nearly as meaty. So I actually think we might get our second Forsaken installment in terms of a meteor. Like they've got to give us something to last us until whatever's next and bigger. That's my current theory, but do you guys think it's possible we just get like another Shadowkeep update? And the related question was, what do we think of the pace of like how these seasons are rolling out now? So I know that's two questions, but
the seasons need to be tweaked. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go ahead, Sean.
I'm curious to hear.
I just think the seasons, they're $10, so expectations need to be set. And I feel like we were spoiled with Shadowkeep and Season of the Undying hitting at the same time. And you were like, I've got the raid, it's new. I've got the dungeon, it's new. I've got Vex Offensive, it's new. I've got the Vex causing shenanigans over on the moon. I've got probably the best lost sectors they've ever created in the history of Destiny on the moon and this and that. Now I'm in Season of Dawn. I have this new activity, which is kind of Menagerie Light. And I still have to do some stuff over on the moon and Garden of Salvation. And at this point, you start to have that burnout of, do I want to do the dungeon or do I want to just get a checkpoint on the boss for the dungeon to get that one pinnacle drop? You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I feel like, is it enough content for us? Because look, the Destiny community, we're ravenous. We're going to just eat up that content as quickly as possible. So I think there needs to be a little bit of reworking, I think, of what is offered within a season rather than just cosmetic stuff, maybe that rotates every week. I want more activities and more loot, basically.
Are you saying you don't think it's worth the money?
I think it's worth the
Because
money. I don't think there's enough content to really keep. I think you get what you pay for, and I think I got my $10. I am season rank 237 right now.
Oh,
I got my content, right? But I think that there's a lot of things that I miss. Like I've been speaking about this since day one. I lived for every Tuesday going to the tower and seeing every vendor and seeing all the different roles on armor and weapons and being so excited and watching Twitter blow up that Shax was selling a palindrome with XYZ or the Warpath from Future War Cult was this and that. Whereas I feel like the token system just it's not a fun player experience. You know what I mean? Even for Iron Banner, I worshipped it in Destiny 1. I would grind it every single one because you knew Lady Efforty was going to sell a killer roll by the end of it in terms of the weapons, and all the armors were, what did we call it back then? Tier 10 stats, I think,
Tier
right?
12.
Tier 12, yeah.
Tier 12 stats and this and that, and you grind it out because you wanted that piece of gear. You wanted those weapons and stuff. Whereas Iron Banner, I participated in one Iron Banner, and that was when Shadow came, and that was it from there.
Yeah, the reward structures for D2 is another big problem with that stuff. Like, it was exciting to see something pop up at the end of the screen that somebody got their Islune or something, and that's completely gone.
That's what I want back.
Yeah, that's completely gone in Destiny 2,
bad.
and they need to bring that back because that was exciting. So I agree with you on that. And Iron Banner, yeah, it's got its issues with the whole token system. But I gotta say, I think $10, 3-month season type of format, I think it's good for the game. Because otherwise, you got nothing. Like, I don't want to see the Taken King style droughts to return to the game. I don't want to see those, especially with the state of the PvP. That would be that'd be the silver bullet, right? They need they definitely need stuff, and I think the season pass is a good answer to that. Even though it's definitely not going to speak to every Destiny player. In fact, a lot of Destiny players that are hardcore are going to see it and go, not really feeling this. But you're still playing. You still have things to do, technically.
Or I think the season pass, the rank rewards, I think they need to be better. And I think they should be progressed longer because I think we burn through the 0 to 100, or at least the hardcores will burn through it faster. And I feel like I'm getting rewards from it that it doesn't really entice me to want to grab. Like, there's not enough weapons, there's not enough armor, and there's more cosmetic things or there's more consumable package materials type things. Whereas if there was a season pass where you have 1 to 100 and you can go from there to there, but it takes a little bit longer. And from there, the rewards should be more meaningful, I think, for the season ranks.
So I think beyond 100 is where it really falls apart.
Yes.
You know, like just every 5 ranks, you get a engram that's full of stuff that you've most likely already seen, and it doesn't dismantle into dust anymore. Like, it's kind of a kick in the nuts, honestly. For me,
I like the power bonus though. I mean, like I'm plus 22 power, so I don't even care. If it also took out the, do I care that I have 970 gear? Like is that the number now? 970? Like
970, yeah.
I don't care because I'm like 987 with the plus 22s now. You know, coming from the artifact, which I like that a lot. But
see, that's part of the symptom. That's the issue right now with the game's reward structure is that it just doesn't matter. You're like 1,000 light level, and it just doesn't matter. Like, what are you going to use it in? The ordeal?
Yeah, it kind of feels like we're still trying to recuperate from the original D2 vanilla reward system. Because, we still have tokens in the game, and they've slowly started taking that out with new activities. Osiris doesn't have a token system. He doesn't have a token system. So it could just kind of feel like they're still trying to figure out what that reward system feels like, because the season pass is super new. That's something that they're trying. It still definitely feels like they haven't found the spot what they really want the rewards to be. Because I know it's very easy to say, but I think the dungeons, they need an armor set, a unique
Yep.
armor set to them. I
Yeah.
think they just really do, like a raid, right? I'm not saying it needs to have a whole slew of weapons, but at least an armor set that you could get high stat rolls from would be really, really, really nice. Even if they brought that in like a year from now, adding that to the dungeon would be so nice. And
Does
I
that
know
answer your
it's
question, Fran.
I know
Oh,
it's
yeah.
hard. I
Brian's
know
reading
it's
the chat.
hard to just
I
make
don't think-
make new armor, but
Well,
But I
that's
don't
Yeah,
think
I
it
mean,
was-
it needs
no.
it.
Hold on, Watts.
be
That
so cool.
is totally though what I want from this game right now. Is that
Yeah.
like I have had the same complaint for a very long time. Is that
Yeah.
there's nothing really new to go get, and like the best stuff is still in the Eververse store.
Yeah, they're experimenting, and I'd rather them dare to fail. You know what I mean? Like, you ever heard that
for
quote?
sure.
Oh yeah,
Dare to fail. They're experimenting with the
Agreed.
season pass, and I always say on Bungie's track record, look, Destiny 2 came out, Curse of Osiris, it went down. Warmind, things got better. Forsaken, it got really good. Then we kind of the season in year 2 with Drifter and with Black Armory, and then all this. It was okay, you know what I mean? Then it really got really nice with Season of Opulence, and then Shadowkeep, Season of Dying nailed it. Then it's kind of come back down a little bit with Season of Dawn. So I feel like Bungie has a track record of learning from their mistakes. I feel like, so I feel like
Yeah.
they're listening to all the feedback. You know what I mean? And more than likely, the seasons will get better. That's a prediction that I'm making right now, is that the seasons will get better, and they're going to take what we say and what the community wants and start putting them into the season as we go forward. I think.
Yeah.
it might be, and I might be one of these people that become. I'm going to check into Destiny every September because the seasonal stuff isn't that appealing to me. It's, I don't feel like it's not worth the value. The $10 is, that's not really a concern. I'd pay more to get more content, that's for sure. But the seasonal content I find to be of negligible value, especially when there's no raid in there.
It's so odd too, and it just shows you how much we need, the foundation, the content itself to play on, because you've got what you've asked for in a lot of ways, Brian. You said I want like more weapons. I've been saying that for I feel like the last year. Well, you got like 2 seasons of all these weapons with
That's true.
rolls, and some of them are quite good. But like, are you even bother chasing them? Probably not, because there's again that dilution of like there's actually a lot of
baseline of like the stuff I have that's so freaking good, Fran.
Yeah,
that's
like
like,
why chase them?
Do I need another hand cannon? That's arguably, if I spend 100 hours grinding this one weapon, maybe I get something as good as what I already have, or maybe it's like 2% better than what I have.
Yeah, I'm like that too. The time you invest versus what you get out of it. Like I like that there's new weapons,
a completely different game and have a whole new experience.
Yeah, it is odd. It's almost totally. That's what I'm doing. I feel like it's odd to say it. It's almost too much on the number of weapons, because it's not like we're finding some new god roll within there.
Yeah, that's
in fact,
really
are
why
any of the
I
new
want
weapons
a Destiny
like
3. It's because I want a full reset. I want a new experience. And to be honest, Destiny 2 feels a little old now. It's not that different engine-wise from Destiny 1. It doesn't feel it from the player's perspective.
Yeah,
like playing all these like new games, like No Man's Sky, just flying my ship from place to place, and like there's these
again.
These new games that are just like doing these crazy things. And Destiny was revolutionary and crazy in 2013. But it's 2020 now,
So back to that original question: do you think we will we get a beefy Forsaken level update, like a new planet?
I think we will.
Maybe they'll sunset.
I think it's gonna. I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
I think this. So this is one of my WoW predictions that may or may not come true, but I'm making it. I think the next September update is when we get the pyramid ship stuff we actually come in contact with whatever that is. But hopefully that's a new enemy, and hopefully that brings a new subclass with that new enemy.
That would be cool to get
That's my
that
prediction.
plus, and we get our version of the Dreadnought with that. Maybe it's like that. We already had seen.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
We've seen the art style, right? We've jumped in just once and
we had a taste.
metal hallways. Yeah, I feel like you're right about that. That's what we'll get this September.
It just feels like the game, and I'm sure Bungie is feeling this as well, that we just need something like a new subclass at this point. Something to really switch it up, new enemy, new element, new ways to play. the
Yeah.
entire game. It just
Yeah.
feels like it's time.
If we're going to stick
think
with
they-
D2, then yeah, we need some fresh
Yeah,
update
yeah.
that way. That would shake things up. Here's a
For
question.
sure.
Do you guys think that with the speculated expansion that happens in September or October, do you think it's going to drop with a PS5 and a Xbox Series X patch as well?
Probably.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. It's tough to like say definitely on this stuff because
You don't think that Destiny
they've got
2 is
2
going to be
months.
available at launch for the new consoles? I think it's
I don't think so
100%.
until they've announced it. I'm not going to believe that.
Yeah, I do think that it's. Yeah, glad you asked that. That was part of what I was thinking about. Like, will we get those 60 FPS versions?
Like a day one
I think so.
on launch on that console. Do you think that's going to be a launch?
For the consoles, which is probably a few months after, right?
Yeah.
When this comes out. Yeah, I think absolutely. I mean, I know we have a Stadia version because like they paid, and that's something different. But like it, 100%. You want to be there at launch for those consoles, so I have no doubt.
As a
I think
player,
the real question is,
I absolutely want them to have that happen. I want the PS5 to have a 60 FPS version of Destiny 2 happening immediately. But as someone who's seen Bungie handle this stuff over the years, I don't
I
know.
completely disagree. They just ported it over to Stadia. They also just ported it over to Xbox's Play Anywhere service, whatever that's called. I always forget the name of that thing.
Game Pass.
xCloud.
Not Game
Oh,
Pass.
the xCloud.
xCloud, yeah.
They just
And now there's
just ported it
GeForce.
over to that. They've got the PC version. That I mean, to me, that's what you port over to the next gen consoles, right?
Yeah, but I don't think it's that easy.
Yeah, it's not exactly.
Well, they just did it for Stadia, and what audience are they looking at for Stadia compared to
See,
the PS5 and the Xbox Series X?
But the thing is, Stadia was
got
a
paid.
deal, and it's possible the Stadia engineers were working with Bungie to make that happen.
Yeah,
I mean, are they a
I
free
can't imagine it
agent?
doesn't launch.
Is
Yeah, they can
Bungie
do what they
considered
want.
a free agent where PS5 and Xbox? Do you think one of those companies will come to Bungie and say, give us exclusives in terms of content, or is that all gone now? Like that PS5 and Xbox all getting the same stuff now?
I don't know if those game makers are willing to pay for it, given
Yeah.
everything else. I think it's possible that you would have a release window, like let's say PS5, they pay for an exclusive next gen window, and then so it comes out in November, but then
The
March
good news
when
is
you
they're bringing
get-
the Hawk Boom back. The bad
Right.
news is Xbox Series X isn't getting it for a year.
right. It's possible.
For good times. Yeah.
Oh god.
I don't see
Actually,
that
Kill 'Em All
happening.
brings up a good point in chat, backwards compatibility. And I could see them more relying on backwards compatibility and not doing an updated version for the PS5 architecture.
But that makes no difference then. It's like, well, yeah, of course you can play like your old console games, but it's not a new game by any means in any way.
Until they
but I think
announce that they've actually made plans to launch with the consoles, I would not expect them to launch with the consoles, guys.
Right. Yeah, and
I'd be shocked.
I would say I agree in your skepticism that there's a good chance that maybe it would be, oh, we're not going to do it until we see how these things are launching. It might be March or it might be April or May, But I believe they're actually working on it. I
Well, of
just
course
think
they're working
wanna
on it,
be there at
like-
launch, but for launch, meaning they want to be there in
Yeah.
November. I think it's really important to them to be on those consoles.
Yeah. Well, I feel like a
It'll
lot of
be
Destiny
easier
players,
transition.
a lot of console Destiny players are looking at the new consoles as saying, man, I can't wait to get D2 60 FPS and not have to invest in a big PC or go through the headache that Sean went through on having their 2080 Ti be crapped out and having to send it back and all that. Like that sounds like a headache. And I know a lot of people are looking forward to this, but I would temper your expectations and not expect it to be a launch title for the new
What
consoles.
if they did this? Listen to
That'd be
this.
downer, dude.
What if not only they brought it out as a launch game on the new consoles, but they also brought out the new light editions free to play?
Oh, I think
So
of
everybody
course,
who
both.
buys a new console also gets Destiny 2 with it
What?
as a free game.
Well, they're going to anyway because it's free. So they
Yeah, it's
will
already
get
free to
it.
play. So they'd have
Oh,
to
it's already
support
free to
that free to play.
Yeah.
Brian's like,
Exactly.
what if? There was
What if?
It would be
Half what
really
Brian was
weird if
saying.
they put it on the PS5 and was like, sorry, no free to play version because we just didn't have the budget.
Yeah, we
that's
couldn't make it.
that's going to be a good time to pick up new players. People get a new console at home. There's always like this dearth of new software for it, new games.
Mhm.
So hey, I've heard some things about Destiny 2. Let's check it out.
You
Yeah.
actually, though, you just made. I wasn't even thinking about it though, Brian. You inadvertently, I think, made the strongest point of why they especially want to be there. In the same way that Fortnite and Apex will want to be there, is like free to play on new console stuff. Like that's like one of the things like that does well because like you spend all this money on the console, you're like, I just want to try stuff.
Yeah.
And you want to be there at that time. And I think it and again, like going from PC to console is never like just as simple as it sounds. There's a lot of hoops to jump through, but it is way easier than it's ever been now that they have the PC port. Like there's not a lot of super new stuff, but there's stuff like, for example, the custom SSD drives and that pipeline of data. Like you can't just, you can just plug it in, but Sony and Microsoft are going to be like, hey, we need you to optimize this. That's many, many months of work, and it's not just.
Well, they have to interface with all their networking and all that, and how they do the invites,
licensing, the store. It's so much work. The marketing, even like it's huge, and yeah, it does make me wonder. I'm like, man, they're already supporting these other consoles. Like, how are they going to do all of that plus Stadia, plus the new and old consoles? Like,
how long until they
sunset
drop
the old
support
ones?
for PS4 and Xbox?
Exactly.
I think this is the last year, personally. I personally think this is the last year.
You
So
think
we have until
you think they're gonna
September
drop support
2021.
for PS4 this year?
No. It's September 2021.
Will be the last
September
official release.
2021.
Yeah, we're moving
Oh,
on.
okay.
Well, actually, we might be in the position of we're moving on to Destiny next by then, which is what I've kind of been expecting and
You
predicting.
think
for a while.
2021 will be Destiny 3 or whatever?
Yeah, well, we
if
screwed up
PS4
time
can
and
only-
everything blew up.
If PS4 and Xbox, the ones we have now, cannot hold a game that's that size, but the PS5 and Xbox can, you're right. They're going to have to ditch the old consoles,
right?
you know. One question I have is, did they ever release or ever talk about how many New Light players were converted into purchasing players who picked up the game, tried it?
No.
I don't think so.
I kind of wish we got a
a good
gauge that
question.
because I feel like with Shadowkeep, we saw, massive numbers.
Oh, yeah.
They were really plugging it. But I'm wondering if has that player base has it? Because I don't check the Destiny tracker numbers, or I don't know how if that stuff's available anymore. It would be nice to know if there was a good conversion of try the game. Let me then buy the season, or buy the season pass, or buy Shadowkeep or whatever.
So I know from a small window perspective from streaming, I've seen a lot of people come in and say it just started with New Light, been playing for the past couple of weeks, really enjoying it. I've seen a lot of that type of activity in chat. Again, that's very small.
50% of my sons actually started with New Light and have continued playing.
Yeah,
It's 50%.
There you go.
What a metric.
50%.
I do see a comment every now and then as to mostly in my Zerv videos, because those are all brand new exotics for them. So they want to know, what do they do? Should I buy this? I don't have many legendary shards, Is it worth? Then I get the question in Wednesday or Thursday, where did Xur go? I'm like, I said at the beginning of the video, the Xur comes to the solar system on Friday and he leaves on Tuesday at reset. You know what I mean?
It's like Tefty's Fractalini equation.
The Fractalini, yes.
The Fractalini.
Do you think, actually, now that I think about it, do you think they will drop support for the PS5, PS4, and Xbox Series? Or Xbox
Not this
One?
year.
Do you think they will in the lifetime
eventually.
of Destiny 2?
Yeah, I think so. If they're going to move on from
that's
I
why
guess it depends. You can't answer that question correctly unless you know when Destiny 3 is coming out. But if
mine's a cop out because I
2021,
think like they don't. It's not like they stop supporting new versions. It's just they're going to leave behind what we're seeing with Destiny 2.
Yeah, with
2021, and so just
Rise
like
of Iron.
Destiny 1 happened. Yeah, like it's not like they don't support it anymore, but you can still play it, right?
Yeah, like you can
Sure,
on the Xbox
yeah.
360 with Destiny 1.
Yeah.
So I think 2021 for that.
Yeah. I actually think it kind of sucks that they did that with Rise of Iron on the Xbox 360 and the PS3 because they only had a year left till Destiny 2 made it out.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of pissed off people about that.
There always will be. But I mean,
Yeah.
to be fair, they can only support a community of a certain size that makes sense, right? And then that'll be the big question too: is how many people are playing on those consoles still once these come out? And
Yeah.
Because their goal is they don't have competition. They only have to keep us happy and bring in new people who want to experience the Destiny experience. Because let's be frank,
I think you forgot about Anthem.
Frank.
I was about to say the A word, as much as I feel like the gameplay mechanics are fun, is not a competitor. You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah.
The Division
No.
2, loved the Division 2. When it first came out for the first month, I could not get enough of that game. And the Division 1, I played it all the way up until Destiny 2 came out. But there's no competitors. If a competitor comes out, and it looks like I don't see anything on the rise right now that's
Marvel.
out there.
Some people say Warframe, but it's
Warframe-
different. Yeah.
Warframe's different.
It doesn't capture my attention.
War,
personally. I don't think
Warframe's
there's
quite
anything wrong with it.
different.
Yeah.
But at first, but everyone was saying Borderlands 3. Oh, forget Destiny 2. Shadowkeep's gonna. Borderlands 3. Look, I liked it. I loved it. I played it for a couple of days before Shadowkeep came out, and
How
then
dare you?
I never went back to it. Do you know what I
Borderlands,
mean?
it's not. They didn't make it a live service.
Different. Yeah. It's not
Yeah.
intended to compete with this, other than if you like chasing loot. That's the only real similar they have.
Yeah, I agree with you though, because I think a lot of people have heartache and pains about the PvP system because there just isn't really alternatives to Destiny PvP.
Yeah.
No.
Just doesn't.
I totally
What
agree with
about
you, by the way.
Godfall, guys? Bruce
Nah,
reminded
it's not the
me
same
of
type of
that.
game. That's like
Stabby grabby.
Godfall. Yeah,
like,
stabby grabby game. That could potentially. I mean, it's the thing is it's not an FPS. So all the people that
it's like a
play
God of War
Destiny
looter.
because they like the FPS part of that game, they might not be into Godfall because it's not that.
Yeah.
It could be that it's not a Destiny like that kills Destiny or that competes
Yeah.
hard with Destiny. It's something completely new that we've never seen before. One of the big games that took a huge chunk of the player base away from Destiny is Fortnite, which has nothing to do with Destiny.
Mhm.
Also,
Yeah, and Apex for that matter.
Also,
Yeah.
Monster Hunter World. A lot of
Monster
Destiny
Hunter, yeah.
people went over to Monster Hunter. People who just wanted that loot and a really nice kind of.
A lot of people
I
playing
guess
it right now.
yeah, like Destiny captures a lot of different types of players. So there's different games that can capture. They can
Yeah.
capture different players
Yeah, like
and
I
take
went
them
over
away.
to Sekiro in the meantime. Totally not a looter, really, but
I think the
It
people
loots
who
your
left
soul.
the
does.
people who left Destiny 2 vanilla are the ones that are like that population that
Yeah.
look
Coveted.
for a particular type of gameplay loop of getting loot and having it mean something in there and continuing to do that stuff. Monster Hunter does a great job of that. And
Yeah.
Destiny has that itch. It scratches a lot of different itches, actually. I think that's why Destiny
does,
is very
yeah.
unique. Yeah, because some
It
people
really
don't care
does.
about the loot. They just want their specific gun. That's why there's a lot of people who are like, do not touch my weapons. I want to use this weapon for 5 years because this is my mind benders. Don't you dare touch it. I will use this in every single match that I ever play in Destiny for the next 5 years. Like that's some people are like that. And other people, like myself, I want to see lots of different gear and options and meta shifts.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. We are almost
like
an
we
hour
gotta
into the
figure it out.
podcast, and we had to talk about.
We
the
haven't
TWAB.
talked about our economy either.
Haven't talked about the economy, the Fractalini. Like we gotta talk.
Fractalini.
That makes me hungry every time you say it.
What about my Fractalini?
That sounds delicious.
Espresso red sauce. The frutti di mare. Fractalini.
I'm the only one with the Queen's accent that calls it Fractalin. Like that.
I've been calling it Fractalin, Fractaline, Fractaline.
I say fractaline.
Yeah, and then
I say fractal.
And then yesterday I was like, I'm gonna call it Fractalini, man, just to piss some people off.
Fractalini's so good.
My DNA test came back that I'm part Sicilian, so I need to call it a Fractalini.
Fractalini.
Or paisans. I love it.
Exactly.
Let's get into TWAB, guys. There's some stuff in there.
Oh
sure is.
man, there he is. Briar, over to you.
Wow.
All right.
Here comes Briar
go to the
with
bathroom
the
while you read
news
this.
at 9.
We hit what? 1.2
Billion.
billion fractally
Fractalini.
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 deposited. And that doesn't even account for the people that are hoarding the stuff.
Exactly.
AKA me.
Me too.
Yes.
I feel like that's the place to hoard it.
It is. Well, that's what a lot of videos
You
release.
invest and then it pays off.
Yeah, you invest for the first how many weeks? 2 weeks? At least this week.
Best
Yeah, 2 weeks.
in this
Yeah.
economy.
Yeah, you invest so you have a bigger payout towards the end.
For yeah, buyer's market.
Because you never know.
Exactly.
We don't know what those final numbers are. They could be like 7 trillion, and everyone's going to be like, I can't possibly make 7 trillion. But
Yeah.
the people that invested could potentially
Fat
make 7
gains,
trillion.
right?
Exactly.
Just massive
Fat
fat
gains.
gains. Yeah.
People are so confused when they ask about this. They're like, wait, so should I just get them to 11 and then donate? I'm like, no. Just invest till week 3. Week 3 comes along, pull it, dump it.
Yeah. See, when you say it
Dump
like
it.
that, it's like, oh yeah, that's common sense. And then you get into the game.
Fractalini.
As soon as I land in the tower, I'm just like, Well, where do I put the Fractalini? I don't know what's happening. Oh God, I don't want to press the wrong thing.
This is how somebody ends up with 70 grenade launchers in there.
100. 100 edge
Sorry about
transits. Get it right. Yeah.
Fractalini. Yeah, that's right. People complain about content. Look at us go. We're getting our Fractalini.
Yeah, massive amounts of
How can you
Fractalini.
say anything is wrong with this game?
Exactly.
Fractalini.
So yeah, that's 1.2 billion. I'm sure it's past that at this point, right?
Oh, I'm sure.
We're on to what stage? We completed stage 3, right?
What is stage 3?
Yeah. Oh no.
Fat
Have you guys
amounts.
noticed-
At the beginning.
Have you guys noticed the bars filling up in the Crucible directory?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't look
Wonder
at that
what
actually.
that means.
Well, the thing is, what happens if it
When that bar gets
early?
filled up, what happens?
Oh, I don't know, Briar.
We have a feast, a Fractalini feast.
Fractalini. Osiris comes out with his mama's recipe Fractalini.
Mama
we
Osiris.
I just went and made some Fractalini.
Nice, excellent. So yeah, the
I'm
community.
loving that pin they're giving out. That pin is awesome.
Yeah. This is in the. I should open up the 12. I only saw like a bit of it.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
what's the pin look like? I didn't catch that
Fractalini.
It's like
Oh.
it's like State 14's like shield or something.
Yeah,
the
the
little
forgetting the
bird.
savior title, right?
Yep.
Yes.
I haven't bought any
Yeah,
of
if
those
you get
pins
the Savior
before.
title.
That is a nice pin.
You'll unlock the ability to pre-order the Savior pin Bungie reward,
Yeah.
and it's cool. It's cool.
I'm like basically done with getting the seal this time around, which is super weird. It's a whole
Yeah, me
month.
too. Like I noticed when I was going through it, I'm like, wait, I completed everything here except for like one thing, and the last one I completed was dredging because some of the other ones were just too. There's too many things to do in them.
Yeah,
Would it
I like
up
to
your-
save this up to the end of the season, and I'm already a month in advance. All I have to do is go get the Komodo. I just have to hit whatever it is. I have to
Hit some very low
some
number.
in comp, and then it's done, and I basically have it. I'm like, that's weird. I feel strange.
Would
You
up
still have
your
to chase all
drive
those
to get the like all the triumphs done if there was a pin for every one of them that you could actually order?
There is a pin for all of them.
There is a pin for all of them?
Yeah, there
so
is.
right
Briar.
now. So I guess the answer is no.
Briar's like, man, these pins look cool. They should do this for all of them.
Great.
Oh wait. Yeah. What else is
They
in
showed
store?
off the awards for Crimson Doubles.
Yeah,
Yes, they
Crimsy
did.
Debbie's coming in.
It is coming back.
Some new stuff in there. Some old stuff.
Is that a two-seater?
No,
So
I
they-
was thinking that too.
It's
You
a double
can drive
sparrow that you
next
can
to
link
each
together.
other. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
hoping that
Do
they
they link
have
up?
some type of mechanism that keeps you together. Otherwise, it's going to be really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, does it suddenly like
Slow
show
down.
that-
God damn it.
Like, is that our understanding of this so far? Like, does it show like that overlay?
And then when you
know,
connect
when
them,
you
who
get close to
drives?
each
I
other.
mean, like who steers it? I mean, I don't understand.
That's a good
that.
question.
I'm assuming magnets
The guy on the left, unless you're in Great Britain.
or Japan.
Yeah, I have a feel. In the trailer they show them jumping through the air with the glow happening. Like, maybe it
Yeah,
just
they
starts
get
glowing when you're close to each other. So it's like that's about the extent of it. So as
I'm
long
going
as
to
you stay
chase
close to each
everyone down in patrol who has it and drive next to them.
other. Yeah.
So it says there's two sparrows. Is there a left one and a right one?
I think so. They kind of made
Yeah,
it.
it looks that way.
Looks
Yeah.
like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
there's
they look the
they
same
also
from the top
said which is the thing that you can get for silver only, and it's the 2-person emote where they do the heart and then they do the big heart together.
Ah.
Which I wasn't too crazy about with the big heart, but then I saw that they do like little hearts, and I just want to go around doing little hearts to everybody. So I'm
Yeah.
totally getting it.
Which is
I
interesting though,
still
because
have
it
the
means
one where he draws a heart in neon in front of him. I use
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
that's one
That
of my
one.
faves. Yeah. I still use it. I was gonna say it's interesting because that emote though will only be usable by people who paid with silver, right, Watts?
Yep.
It's kind of
We can come together
Yeah.
as brethren.
Exposed. You're like, do you have it?
Hey, are
And
you a rich
shame
person?
them. You're like,
I am a
like
rich
I'm
person.
just finding
Check it
the
out.
people that
I'm not a rich person. I just don't understand priorities.
she's a rich girl.
I like that ghost shell. If the ghost shell's got good perks in it, I'll buy it. But the problem is
It'll have
the moon shell that came with the pre-order is just too good. I'll
Too
never
good, yeah.
take
Yeah,
that.
it really is good.
It's awesome, and it has the XP boost and like
Are the
Yep.
shaders the same as well?
This doesn't look like we have
Shaders?
new shaders.
look the same. Yeah, those are old.
Yeah, they look like the same. Graviton Lance ornament from
Yeah. You
know what?
year one.
I like the Crimson Doubles event. I always have. I like the
Mhm.
two player playlist. So
Little-
I'll do this anyway. I
Little,
just
like,
enjoy it.
trials light practice maybe. I don't know.
I guess. Yeah, it's always just a fun time hanging out with a buddy and two on two.
Mm-hmm.
I was just a little bummed that they said the packages you can get from Shaxx for PvE stuff give you glimmer and a chance at legendary. I was kind of hoping it was going to be like a type of thing where the packages are all going to give you tokens or materials or just other things that you could cash in to get a whole bunch of stuff, whether you farming for
Mhm.
Banshee things to
Mhm.
buy mod components or whatever.
Is Crimson Days Destiny 2 or Destiny's longest yearly event or longest running yearly event?
Let's see. How long?
It's longer
is it
than the
for?
Dawning, right?
Did it start in Rise of Iron?
No, I think it started in year 2.
Who's taking King gear? Really? So that meaning the 2016 is maybe when it started?
The sugary shell. You guys remember that? The
Yes.
chocolate shell, the sugary
Yes.
shell.
Yep.
You guys want to talk about swords?
Yeah, I
Swords.
do. Give me the sword
Swords.
info.
Cutting
Swords
edge,
are
right?
getting completely changed. I mean, like the
Yeah.
gameplay completely is going to change with swords, and I can't wait.
I'm excited.
Bungie used the word table flip, and I think that's a pretty apt description of what's going on. So I'm gonna read this pretty much verbatim. The devs team says swords are getting a little more love in this season. While swords have been a staple of Destiny ever since their introduction in the Taken King, we felt they were due for an update both to freshen them up, but also to allow us more room to work with them in later releases. Sword energy. Swords now have their own energy reserve that recharges naturally on its own and is not to be confused with ammo capacity. This energy will overtake your melee slot while you're wielding a sword and is spent on various actions. So no more heavy ammo on swords. It's a completely different ammo economy.
Mm-hmm. Fascinating.
Yeah.
It's
Guarding.
like a nice way to fix the problems. Well,
Yeah.
quote, start to fix the problems is be like, you know what? Don't use ammo, forehead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because no one uses swords. I mean, do you guys ever use swords? I
Never.
don't.
I use them
Never.
for fun, like
I use
Talon.
it. Yeah, exactly. For
Yeah.
fun.
Messing around
Yeah.
occasionally with a bounty.
Yeah, Black Talon. In fact, I did a build where I had like sword scavenger, sword finder, and all that, and then the heavy finisher. So when I'm out, I just reload with the finish, and then back to Black Talon, throwing cutting edge and all that.
Yeah, I think the most I used one was in Destiny 1, definitely.
Yeah.
Probably in that
Probably the Dark
raid.
Drinker.
Dank drinker for Axis challenge,
Dang.
man. It was
Dank
nothing was
drinker.
more
Yeah.
invigorating than he was stunned. Everyone plops weapon to light, and everyone just goes to town with Dark
Goes to
Drinker.
town spinning around
Right.
like crazy people.
Such a good raid encounter, man.
Dude.
Such a good raid
Well,
encounter.
Speaking of which, now we know why the reward for the Corridors of Time was not the Dark Drinker because
They're
they give
reworking it?
Yeah, like we need to. They're
Give
fixing
it
it
to
and
us
other
and
stuff.
change it,
Apparently,
like immediately.
Right?
yeah,
Be like,
that
actually,
would have
it's
been
completely
right.
different.
That'd be a
It should have been
Uh,
Vex Mythoclast or something like that.
yeah.
I would have loved that.
Guarding. Guarding now uses sword energy instead of consuming ammo. Different guards have different consumption rates, damage resistance, and behavior. So be sure to experiment and find a guard type you like. You'll still need at least one ammo to begin guarding, though.
Yes. So you do need
bad.
ammo. My guess is that it was just the way that it's coded that it needs some ammo to actually function.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, you do need some ammo, just like one ammo
Yeah.
to
So
guard and also to attack.
but it won't use that ammo up.
Right. Yeah.
Back during Season of the Drifter, the Stronghold exotic for Titans was introduced, allowing them to guard with relative impunity and opening up more interesting opportunities for swords to shine in a variety of content, which caused us to take another look at the guard function itself. Although the guard function has always existed, it was never really considered worth the cost. With this change, we hope that players will use their guard intelligently to protect themselves instead of it being an almost unused button. Rest easy, Stronghold has been modified to still allow Titans a unique guarding experience.
Okay.
I like the way that sounds because it's guarding especially like just never felt quite right.
It never felt like you were getting
waste
a
the heavy
multi-sword.
ammo.
And
Yeah,
exactly. And you would now it's from the way it sounds, it's like you can push in and try to guard your way up to where you need to be, which was part of the problem. It's like, well, I'm not even like near where
You're gonna
I
use
wanna
all your
be.
ammo before you get there and you can
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
slash them. And then you get there and you're like, well, I'm gonna die because I have no ammo now.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is actually interesting for Crucible, right? Because if you pick up heavy, you could just never use that heavy ever. And you could just guard until
Use
you
your sword
die.
the whole time.
Yeah. Which I feel like could be, I don't think it'll be broken because you lose it as soon as you die.
Yeah.
But it is very interesting that you can kind of use this sword to guard as you play PvP, which I think will open up some pretty interesting stuff.
Hmm.
Maybe it'll be
So-
totally broken, and then you can yell at me. But
Light attacks. Grounded light attacks for all swords will now loop for an infinite combo, and all swords can cleave. While the basic 3-hit combo is quite a staple of melee weapons in many games, in a shooter, this leaves the player extremely open to enemies. By letting the light attacks loop, we also push them and the heavy attacks further apart. Cleaving on light attacks was previously only on the aggressive swords, but we opted to add it to the rest of them for more hack and slash.
cool. I like hack and slash.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is going to, like, I wonder how much of a movement bonus you'll get, or what kind of movement will be while you're like doing this infinite combo. Like, will you be slowly making your way across the floor, or will you stay pretty much stationary?
I don't know. Good question.
Well, wait, do the light attacks just use the energy then? I guess so.
I don't think so. I think heavy attacks use energy.
And light attacks use ammo.
Heavy
though,
attacks
then. Is that right?
definitely use energy because they
I was-
talk about how that
Yeah.
works
It
with
says it
heavy.
now consumes
Yeah,
sword
they didn't
energy.
say it in light attacks though, did
Yeah,
they?
I'm guessing it doesn't use any energy, or
And it's
definitely
just
not heavy ammo. No,
but in other
no
words,
ammo.
it can't be completely infinite that you can just move across the map because it's ammo based. Maybe.
There's some confusion because
No, it
people in
doesn't
chat,
use ammo.
people in chat are saying the light attacks actually do use, but I don't know where this information is. Maybe one of the devs confirmed something on Twitter or on
Maybe.
I don't know
Reddit.
why they just put it in there. They put it on every other one of these things. Like guarding uses sword energy instead of ammo. Heavy attacks now consume sword energy. So we know that.
What?
Except light attacks, not listed.
We'll have to wait and see about that one. Heavy attacks now consume sword energy. While you're always able to perform a heavy attack, the attack is stronger when you have full energy and weaker when you don't. A lot of sword play in many situations simply boil down to endlessly mashing the heavy attack button instead of mixing up attacks, which wasn't quite the most interesting experiences. Do note that aerial heavy attacks, as a general rule, do not consume sword energy, but they can vary based on the sword.
Oh,
So
interesting.
if heavy attacks in the air don't consume sword energy, I'm guessing light attacks don't either.
No idea.
Yeah, judging by the TWAB, that's what it sounds like. But it seems there's some confusion, and I don't know.
We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems to imply a lot here.
Yeah. Does the energy refill on its own? Like it just
It does,
automatically, like a
Yeah.
melee attack
Like
does.
regens.
Hmm.
That's cool,
It
man.
actually, it says it takes so when you have the sword equipped, it takes the spot of your melee. So my guess is that they're using that, like they're using a melee cooldown type situation to
Yeah.
It's the
show
energy
the
gauge.
ammo
Yeah.
coming back. Yeah.
You
It's
know,
really
in a game
interesting.
that where heavy ammo can be hard to come by an awful lot of time. Bypassing it completely with a sword could be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I really like that you do more damage based on how much energy you have. I think that's a really cool thing to add because it's something for you to manage and keep an eye on, which we
That goes
didn't
with
have.
light attacks not taking energy as well, because you can recharge your energy while you're doing light attacks and then get full power heavy attack.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. I'm so excited to see how this works because I love
Yeah.
swords are so fun. And currently, you don't really look for a god roll on a sword. Everyone's just like, I don't know, it's just like a sword. So I'm
Someone in
excited.
chat, Holden a Grenade says DMG said Worldline skating is intended to be dead with these changes. Thoughts?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's like I was looking through his stuff right now. He's just like talking about the speedrun community. He says, well, anyway, yeah, I just had it in front of me.
So you're not going to be able to
But you're
skate
right.
using the sword.
Yeah.
Well, people use that to glitch into areas so much. You know, the under the map things and free raid loot from every raid without having to do the raid. You know what I mean, and all that crap.
Yeah.
I don't. So I know people were saying rip speed runs, but then the way that you do a speed run just changes.
Yeah, that's
Like
what
the
my thought
speed
was too.
for the run just changes, right? Like maybe you have to just do the encounters or
Yeah,
Like
Bungie's
the
not going to
same
design an
thing.
entire game around speedrunners either.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
It's kind
exactly.
of those people.
some of the discussion was this. Sweatcicle was like, D2 had already been stripped a lot of its core mechanics that established a skill gap from D1 speeds, Titan skating, Sparrow flying, etc. But now the world line is being put into the ground. This almost feels like a final straw for speedrunners. And then a few lines more. There's some more context that probably in discussion, but Dylan DMG says, how long of a heads up would you have liked for specific change? We've got a month left in the season, but I'd love to know how to approach changes like these moving forward. And then he goes on later responding a bit. I feel like this change impacts all players, including the speedrun community, like sticky nades. These strategies were growing in visibility and utility. Designing aspects of Destiny 2 around these strategies puts a hard limit on game design, whether it be activities or sword functionality.
yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think he's just saying, like, look, it's kind of hard to keep the speedrun community happy, which it is amazing. They do some really cool stuff, as well as address some of these much needed changes. You know, maybe to the point, like, we're all on the show, like, we don't use swords. If you're a speedrunner and you do some like crazy stuff as well, just to like get to where you need in the game, you might pull out a world line or whatever. But
Well, specifically, it is world line because you can do the charge thing in the air.
Yeah.
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 But I agree. Like, don't design the game around people speedrunning. That makes no sense. Like, it's
too small a portion of the player base.
yeah, it's great
Yeah, I
that
wish we
those
could
things
keep
are
them happy
discovered.
still, but-
And if you feel like quitting the game because of that, then well, that sucks. But I don't think Bungie is going to suddenly reverse those changes just because you want to be able to world line skate. I think you're going to find other things that you can do to try to make up for it. It's not going to be as quick, but that shouldn't be the reason why you
exchange
speedrun.
for world line skating is that we're getting this like new robust sword system.
So
I think
maybe
it's a
you'll
fair
actually be
friggin'
able to
trade.
use swords in just more PvE activities, and that's going to be really fun.
Yeah.
But I mean, I understand people having something that they use all the time, and then they're upset that changes because that's what they do. I totally get that. But if this makes it to where more people can use swords and you can use it in the 980 Nightfall and you can take it into raids, I think that's great overall because swords are super fun. Even when they're terrible, they're really fun.
Especially
So-
that hunter
they
Amazing.
feel
sword.
cool.
Oh,
It's
so
like we
good.
all have
Quick
a
thing?
crutch, right? We all have a crutch. My crutch is heavy machine guns. It's going to be Hammerhead, 21% Delirium, or Thunderlord. I almost never take them off unless I'm doing the rocket launcher bouncing, and I feel like rocket launchers need a bit of some love in the next coming season or two. But if
I
I
agree.
see that sword, people leave out one critical factor in all their weapon reviews and everything, and that's this hidden stat that's called fun. Okay, if they can make swords fun and viable, I'm going to want to use them. You know what I mean? Regardless whether I love machine guns or not. You know, if I can go up and take a Overlord champion down with the proper skill or whatever it needs to be with regards to this new sword system, hey, for an Ordeal Nightfall, you know what? Let me throw in a sword. I've got my Overload rounds and my anti-barrier rounds on my kinetic and my energy. Let me throw in a sword and, you know, go have some fun with it, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, perks on swords making a difference too would be really fun. Like if you got Rampage on a sword and then use the 3-hit combo to like kill 3 guys and then use the heavy hit to hit a boss.
Finish him.
That'd be really cool.
I
like,
mean, guys, can we
play
talk
mechanic.
about Black Talon and its catalyst?
Yeah.
Because the catalyst for Black Talon, it makes it to where shots blocked immediately after guarding increase the damage of Crow's wings for a very short duration. This could be super fun because now you can guard without taking any ammo, and then you can just go to town with your heavy attack. That's going to be so good.
That'd be
I'm
awesome.
excited.
Yeah.
I already really like Black Talon.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Black
it's always
Talon
so
is
cool.
super fun.
Black
Because
Talon's
it's
fun in
kind of a
PvP
gun
too.
as well.
It is.
Yeah,
Do you think
exactly.
And it is
Do you
fun
think
in
the-
PvP.
Do you think they'll add some new like animations? Let's say you're going into an Overlord champion, you're swiping, and then he has no health left, and he's got the little finisher icon, and instead you do some sort of thing where you go and you plunge it through his chest, and then he dies. You know what I mean? Like just cool things like that they could add to the game.
I
as,
would
like, a
love finishers based on what you actually have out for your weapon at the
Mhm.
time. That would
That'd
be
be
amazing.
Yeah, like say like you're finishing off and you just happen to be really close with your auto rifle, and you know like you give him the butt of your weapon, you take the stock of the weapon and you knock him over with it or something, or why can we not use the blade at the end of Monte Carlo to stab
Yes.
an enemy
I
with
know.
it? All right, how
That
cool would
Yeah.
that
Would
be?
be
I know.
rad.
You're using last word, you get close and like pops it in like underneath their chin. You're like pop, pop, pop.
Dude, exotic.
Or you
like,
pistol whip someone with the hand cannon,
Yes.
right? How cool would that
Yes.
be, right?
Yes.
That would be cool if maybe
would
it's
love
part of the
that.
Catalyst system. Yeah, they add like an exotic finisher ability, but
Mhm.
you really got to earn it, and maybe they're rare.
Oh,
they're
I'm
only
throwing
for
money
certain
at the
things.
screen for those.
Yeah.
Throwing
Yeah.
money, man. If I
No,
could pistol
throw
whip
time. We
enemies,
shouldn't have to pay for it, right, Briar?
I would pay for that.
You know, you had
Give me that
one
nice
job,
little
Briar.
pistol whip. Well,
God,
I'll put the
that
money
you-
on the table
the
for that.
one
Dude,
time.
they threw
set
in
you
the
up.
cowbell emote this week. We need more cowbell type of thing.
Yeah.
Instant buy.
You know what's funny? I love that email. It looks hilarious. I'm so not into fun, call it in real life emotes in the game. I've always complained
No?
about sports emotes in Destiny. Like I don't want to take the fun away from people who enjoy them. I want stuff that plays into the lore and like looks cool.
Like looks like
or
it should
stuff-
be in that world.
Yeah, my most used are like the love emote like you're talking about, or sitting on the chair, or things that feel like they have
See,
another application.
when you're paying money
I
for
wish
it,
I got
though,
more of that. Is my point.
when you're paying more money of it, or when you're using your money for it, Fran, that's where I
Yeah.
completely disagree with you.
Okay, but
You
then
should
let
be
me
able to
more
earn
specific.
that stuff in game if it's like
Yeah,
part of the
okay.
game, the part of the world.
Right.
But the cowbell thing, I'm glad to throw money at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is less about like paying or not for me. I wish the time was spent on like whatever, something that had to do with Cade or whatever, any number of things. A Destiny 1 throwback. Like I would rather the time goes towards that than like, yo, get your Kansas City Chiefs emote today. And I'm like, I just really like, I don't care about like, meaning you're right. I would pay for, whatever, an old Trials emote even, or whatever, any number of things that has to do with cool memories in the game, like the Gorgon chest. Like, what if that was an emote? And everybody, you shoot a rocket, a hologram Gallahorn at a chest, and like it opens up. And
If I
stuff
get
like
it,
that.
if I get it from a raid,
Oh.
hell yeah. If I have to pay $10 for it, nah.
Yeah. But anyway, my point here was only I wish they spent time on stuff that was more into the lore. It sounds like you guys.
Well,
maybe
that's because nobody will buy that, apparently.
like maybe you're right, and,
I mean,
and that's
everybody
the
was
point.
willing
Go
to buy
license
the silly stuff, so
yeah.
let's make the
They
silly
are,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, people see that kind of thing and they're like, "Oh, hell yeah, that's what I want."
Yeah.
Yeah, well, then you got to make both. Is my point. Give us both.
Say they bring back Trials and they have a Trials emote exotic that comes from the chest, and you do one where you go up to someone and you point and you go like this, and then you go me, and you go like this, like this, like
9?
that.
Yeah.
You got 9.
Flawless.
You go you 0, me 9.
9.
Right.
Right.
Something like that,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
That'd
See,
be
that's a
cool.
believable moment in the game.
That's great.
I just feel it really is a point. I'd never maybe had the chance to really call it out, but I did want to because I feel like there's other people out there who agree. Like I'm just not interested in stuff that's not into the lore as much. I don't know. I hate the in real stuff that I just can't picture a Guardian doing, like a fake football touchdown. I'm just like,
There's no cowballs?
Thank you.
Cowbells? Cowballs.
There's
There's no
probably cow-
cowballs and no
Sure.
cowbells in Destiny? Come on.
I think my favorite emote is still the one where he's kind of your guardian lounges in the couch that you got.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the Callus
Spire?
one.
That
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
get from
Spire
the
of
raid.
Stars.
Exactly. That one is
That
so
one is
cool.
so good.
Gosh,
That's a
I
perfect
wanna
example
see
of
so
being
much more
part
stuff
of
like that.
lore and a silly emote that's also rewarded in game and not spent from Eververse.
Yeah. And again, let me be clear. If they were making both, I'd be happy. But I feel like it's too far in the other direction. I'm always excited when I see exotic emotes come
Across
up.
the
And then I'm like,
board.
sorry,
Never
I'm
mind
going off like
emotes.
10 minutes on emotes, but they're cool. And I want to see more of that other stuff.
Was there anything else in the TWAB aside from the sword stuff?
Let's see.
That was
Not really,
the most
right?
important
No,
stuff. We got
just-
we got a lot of Twitter questions too, so I'd like to move on to those.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
We've been a little short on the Twitter questions lately.
We summed up the Fractalini discussion too, right? There was nothing else we wanted to.
Did we? I don't know if I
Invest.
missed it, but did people?
Just invest until someone tells you to stop investing.
Which is a couple
like
weeks.
the how-to.
Just
I mean, it's
Yeah.
not an
Go watch a
investment, it's
video.
Like, do we? What?
yeah, seriously, go watch.
Do we really get much back? Like,
Yeah.
meaning we're gonna get it
Yeah.
no matter what you do.
You get
No.
what you invested back each week
Yeah.
No, I know, but like, what are you gonna use that for? Like all these
To donate.
to donate for bigger gains.
Well, I mean, if you want to finish,
But all
out
you
your
get is a
season
shader from the
ranks-
community as a whole. Is what I'm
No,
saying, right?
Fran. You're thinking the selfish Fractalini. You need to
Why
be
you
the
so
community
selfish?
Fractalini.
All right.
You're investing so that you can help the community push forward.
Point I'm making. I
building
don't think
it.
you get enough rewards. Like your 5,000 gets
No,
you
you
the
get so
envelope
many.
pool.
Yeah, what do you get?
If you
actually?
invest, you get a lot.
What?
A Fractaline.
Yeah, to then
But
help
what-
the
what for?
community.
Oh,
To
we
help
don't
the
need
community.
help. It's already made. We're
Fran,
almost done.
this is
You
the-
don't know what the next
We're
things
really
are going to
seeing
be.
a nasty side of Fran.
If we don't invest enough Fractalini into this,
The
we
real
will not
Frankie.
get dedicated servers. All right. If we did not put enough and we
dedicated
still have
servers.
peer-to-peer connections, it's because you didn't invest, Fran. I'm going to be really disappointed, man.
Dude, I'm upgrading all of. I'm doing the work.
Are you?
Okay,
Because it
but
doesn't sound like it. It sounds like
I
you're
am.
skating the work.
I've got tons of stonks or whatever, and they're
It's-
all going into my obelisks, and then I'm getting back Fractalini, which I'm not touching until Monday.
All
Which we
right.
talk about, right?
All right.
I know what to do.
We'll
but,
see.
I did have one complaint about this whole thing. Am I the only one? Because I have to imagine Briar would have been in this boat too, where you went to go do this, and you're like, oh god, this tribute quest. Like, I didn't do it. You know,
Tribute
I was.
quest?
So basically, to do quarters of time and save Saint, there's these quests which you have to do, right? They're like main storyline quests. But to do the obelisk synchronization and all that was this tribute of whatever series of quests, which was not required at any point up until logging in on Tuesday to pick up the new quest.
You gotta like
That-
catch up if you haven't done that stuff.
Yeah,
You know,
and like
Fran,
whatever.
I think you just play the game, Fran.
Get good. Yeah, play more.
You just
Get good.
play.
Play the game.
I
invest
just
in the
wanted to make the
Fractalini.
point that I wish it was part of the corridors of time, which I, took the time to do, or I don't know, like made it so I didn't like log in and be like, oh yeah, I guess I gotta like finish this just to start participating. I do think it's a valid point, right? Like there's community that may again, just like quarters of time, right? This is my point. You want to participate, but you're like, oh, I gotta do these quests, and the quests not fun. Not fun at
Wait,
all.
what quest is it?
Yeah, which quest are you talking about?
Oh, these are so the tribute quests. I don't know if
The
it's
story
all the
missions?
same. No, you go to the planets. So the synchronization, I'm getting confused because I forget if the synchronization. When you go, you pick up a time loss frame and you synchronize. I forget if it's all part of the to unlock.
I didn't have to do
stuff,
that.
But tribute was like just going to planets and like unlocking like orbs of light and like very basic stuff. So you did it. You just did it when it launched. And
Oh, I
wasn't
did it.
required.
I
Was
did it in the
this
sundial.
reset?
This was with all the Saint 14. So sorry.
So this most recent reset. That
So the new
mission.
reset. No, I wanted to get that mission, Watts, but to
Oh, okay,
get it,
okay.
to get Saint 14 to give it to you, you had to have made sure to do like all this stuff that opened up the obelisk functionality and all that. And I had a few obelisks open, is my point. But you got to do like it all.
Oh, is that the one where you had to go and then these things are all the way up in the air and you have to shoot because they were bright light, kind of oracly,
No, those were much
oracle type
older.
things?
It's
No?
the tribute to the city is what it's called or whatever. But you don't do like hardly anything. There's some interesting story stuff in there, but wow, you guys all did it apparently ahead of
I
time.
did it.
But I logged in and I was
I'm also
like,
season
2
rank
hours.
105. So
Dang, man.
I completed the season,
30.
but I'm not MesaSean level. All right, at 200 something.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've played less because my night was I have my MacBook here. I would listen to or watch a Joe Rogan podcast, and I would do the Saint 14 bounties on each character each night,
Mhm.
and I would work on the weekly ones mindlessly, just doing them. It's been season of the Castellum, the Cabal. They are sick of me right now because all I do is I just go to the Castellum and I do the Banshee bounty. So I have hundreds of mod components. No, I have thousands of mod components and a good couple of hundred. I probably have 500 enhancement cores and probably about I think a couple thousand mod components. I think too.
Man, I accidentally deleted all
Anyway.
my mod components.
Oof.
Did you really?
Yeah, I was looking at chat and the thing shuffled, and then like a whole, and it doesn't like delete 5 or 10 at a time. It deletes the entire stack of all your mod components.
How much
my
was it? Like,
It was like
Why can't I do that for
250.
shaders.
okay.
It was
That's
250.
rough,
Yeah, like why don't they do that for shaders instead of something that you might actually use in the game? Really annoying.
Yikes.
Yeah,
That one had to hurt.
so I
All right,
guess.
I'm gonna switch over to Twitter questions real quick.
Yeah, let's do it.
The Dawn Zero says, "This is for Mesa. I've been following you since the D1 and big fan. How do you balance life with Destiny? You do guitar, martial arts, and a dog dad. I'm surprised you're not even exhausted."
I'm always exhausted. You can tell by the bags under my eyes. And my girlfriend's taking a nap because she just got off her shift at the hospital. So it's just balance and priorities, I think. Because when Destiny 2 first launched, I was sleeping like 2 hours a night. I got bronchitis twice. I got 2 middle ear infections. And ever since that month, I've really set aside, like, I need time to do my Muay Thai. I need time to play guitar. I need time to spend time with my girlfriend. I need time to sleep. And if it means, and I've actually made better content because I'm not rushing to make videos. You know what I mean? It's one of those things like, let me put more time, I don't have to get the video up today. Let me work on it and put it up a day or two later, rather than having to get it up. And I end up making a better video when I do that and stuff like that. But ever since that first initial, when D2 launched, I learned that I just need to step back. It just and just kind of
Pick and choose.
fit things in. But also going to the, to do Muay Thai, you get out so much aggression that it makes you just, from Fight Club, calm as Hindu cows. You know what I mean? You're relaxed, you're stressed out, and then I combine that with weightlifting too, and it's just it makes you sleep better, and then it makes me more productive. I guess it makes me more inspired to then make videos, and then I love
more energy. I feel like
Yeah.
that, and just like drinking tons and tons of water long, and I love streaming on YouTube too because that's a big fun thing too. And having channel members and it's just it's really just trying to balance everything, and priorities are first. My health is my priority first.
Agreed. Yeah.
For sure.
Yep.
Duo Shade says, "How many marshmallows can you fit in your mouth and still say Babel mode is engaged?"
Oh God. I don't eat marshmallows, but probably not too many. I think that's just one of those things. Like whenever I come to, because I don't script any of my videos; they're all off the cuff. And when I get to the end, you could tell that that I'm babbling. I say, "All right, guys, Babel mode is fully engaged right now. Leave me a hashtag. Made it to the end," and then I just kind of go. And I've been saying that for years because when I go back and I watch my 2000, I should do one of those where I make a video of me watching my old stuff from
React to your older content.
That's when that's where the hardcore New York Sean accent comes in, and like I am
Mesa
talking
beef.
so fast. Mesa beef.
Mesa beef.
I am talking so fast, I can't even understand myself. You know what I mean? It's just like I'm just like, hey, slow. I used to have a Post-it note that was right next to my thing. It said slow down, tone accent down, because it was just not everyone wants to hear me say, a New York accent. So I say Sean, not Sean. You know what I mean? Or because my mother's got the Brooklyn accents. It's like, so Sean, how's your videos doing today? I saw you live on stream the other day. You look good.
That's amazing.
She's
it.
from Williamsburg, Brooklyn. So
I love that accent.
it's so funny.
Accent's great.
I got a question before we continue. Has there been any development on the graffiti street gang front for you?
Yeah.
Sean. We need to know.
We need more Mesa beefs.
Yeah.
Any more
No,
beef?
What type of beef has been up, man?
No beef whatsoever. In fact,
no beef.
more of the people have passed away. Like we've seen more and more people that we used to do that stuff with bombing trains and highways and all that sort of stuff way back in the day. Like now that they're getting older, pass away from just various, like diseases.
People are dying when they're bombing trains and highways. Huh?
They didn't die back then. They got into a lot of fights and chased by cops and arrested. I never got arrested or anything like that. But
No record, no public record.
No, if you look at my Instagram, Mesa_Sean, and if you scroll all the way down to that, that's where all the old pictures are of all my shenanigans up here in New York City. But I still keep in contact. My closest friends from that era live in Los Angeles, Actually, one of them was in town last week, and we got together and stuff. And they're all just now they all meet up in Miami for this Art Basel thing, where I guess it's legal for them to do pieces. So they all go, like to get together, and they like do these huge pieces, like
Murals and all that?
these. Well, I mean, like they'll call it pieces, but
Sure, yeah.
But it's one of those things like they're buying paint, you know what I mean? And whereas back in the day, you were considered a toy if you bought paint. You're supposed to rack your paint, which was steal your paint, you know what I mean? Because you're not going to pay to get paint to
Suckers
go
pay.
Man.
to go buy to go bomb a highway or a train or something like that. You're supposed to rack it, you know what I mean? And now
Real artists
they have all
rack,
these
suckers pay.
but no. The thing is, like they spend money to buy and now these companies cash in on that because they sell these cans of paint that have special caps. Like we used to have to steal the caps too because the caps were off these things called kitchen magics, which would make it spray just a perfect thing. You could do a nice throw up and fill it in real quickly and this and that. And back now it's like these guys buy their paint and they come in all different flavors and like
By
colors.
cap, you mean the nozzle that you push down on?
Yeah. So you'd put on one that would make it spray this fat. You'd put on one to outline the piece that would spray this thin. And it's a whole other subculture. But if anyone wants to really understand what it's like, if you have Amazon Prime or if you want to watch on YouTube, there's a movie called Style Wars, which explains the entire thing of how this whole subculture from New York City works. It's a great thing.
I love it.
Cool.
I love all
I'm
these
definitely
stories.
watching that.
Every time you come on the show and you talk about this stuff, I'm just like, this is
So
amazing.
many stories of getting chased and then kids chasing us and like being just fights and weapons and all this sort of stuff. And
Jeez, man.
we all just came out unscathed. You know what I mean? It was
It's awesome, man.
Really, really funny, man. So anyway.
Rock Whisperer says, how would you feel about a trial seal and title? Give PvP players more than one seal
Yes.
and new incentives for others to go into the playlist.
Yes.
Might be the first
I
time.
think that's completely fair. Right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd be disappointed not to see it, to be honest.
Yes.
Keith
What would the
says,
title be? No, never mind.
Flawless.
Yeah.
Teabagger.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
Flawless.
the DDoS.
Well, it's pretty good, honestly.
That's terrible, Tempt.
Keith says, The Outer Wilds has a game mechanic where you have to fly your ship from world to world. If Bungie implemented this system, how do you think the community would react to it? Yes, you have to fix your ship if you crash it.
People were like, you telling me that I
It's a
have
whole
to
nother game.
sit through a whole other thing to just get where I'm going to jump my Fractalini?
Yeah. It's going to
People
take you an
pissed.
hour. Yeah. Take you an hour just to like grind out a sword bounty because you couldn't land your ship and you're like, well, crap. Now I got to go get materials to fix my ship.
They'd have to change the game a lot.
Yeah, I think it's a different game where that is
And-
part of it.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then
But
like
it's
the
a good
planet
game.
explodes. You have to start over.
Like some kind of a cross between what's the other game that has that mechanic? No Man's Sky. Some kind of cross between No Man's Sky and Destiny could be
Dude.
a brilliant fucking game.
Have you ever played Faster
Rebel
Than Light?
Gal-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want a
All
mobile
the ship
Bungie game
upgrades and
that takes
that'd be
Faster
cool.
Than Light and attaches to your account, and then you get like Glimmer for playing that game added to
That'd
your
be cool.
account.
You play that in your loading screens?
You get,
I mean,
you
it
throw in
could.
some-
I think it would be outside of the game. It's on your phone, literally. Faster Than Light for
Like a
Destiny.
Destiny version of that.
Yeah,
People
also-
don't realize that we have it good that our loading screens are the ships flying in. You know what I mean? Because Bungie nailed it with literally how your ship sits there, and then you could literally feel how the engines are getting ready to
Yeah.
go, and then it takes off. And even when they land in, they have this really nice glide thing. Whereas if you look at all the other games that we play, the loading screens are a picture of the game, or
Yeah.
in Call of
Yeah,
Duty,
Anthem
it's
made
a
that
bar
mistake.
going like this. Yeah, you know what I mean?
You
Where
were
it's
like, whoa, like it's doing
a
the
bar
same
going
thing.
through and this and that, you know,
Yeah,
or like, like
yeah.
Horizon Zero Dawn is just like really cool music, but it's just kind of looking at stuff. And by the way, rumor has it, please say Horizon Zero Dawn comes
PC.
to PC.
Yeah,
If it comes to
it's going
PC,
to, it
man,
seems.
best
sure, huh?
third-person mechanics I've ever played in my life.
Yeah.
And I love
Yeah.
that game.
I
man.
can't wait for
game
that.
is
Namco
really good.
used to have a patent on loading screen video games. Like they used to put like Galaga on their loading screen so you could play Galaga while you're waiting for the game to load. But that
Yeah,
patent ran
right.
out, and I always expected somebody was gonna pick that ball
Yeah,
up
I
and run
always
with
say,
it.
I was a big GameCube fan. I worked on that platform when I got started, and Wave Race Blue Storm. All you could do is move your cursor around and make sweet like ripples in like this water.
In the
But
water?
it was awesome because the effects back then were so good.
Yeah.
I loved it. But yeah, I always want to see more stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Sorry, I lost my
what
place.
else? Question.
No problem.
Dougie the Drag says, for everyone, including Mesa, do you believe that Trials could/should implement solo matchmaking, or do you think it would be strictly for pre-made fire teams?
I think it's
Solo,
gonna
I
be for
Solo
pre-mades,
queue
but I would
trials.
like to see a solo queue. I think that would be nice.
I'd like to see it, but it might be a horror show, and it could lead to some serious, nasty toxicity with if someone's not as good or something like that, and they start getting ripped apart by other people.
And they could kick them out, right? They're like,
Yeah.
you suck, and
Oh,
they kick
God,
them out,
imagine getting
causing a
kicked
loss
out
on the
the-
card.
Yep.
I think it's a rough
Wait,
thing
how'd
with
they kick 'em
trials.
out?
Yeah, how'd they kick them?
If they're in your fire team, I guess. But I guess
Oh,
they-
you mean
I
you'd
see
open
what
your
you
fire
mean.
team, then people can actually join your fire team. You still have control over kicking them.
Oh, but maybe I guess if
Well,
it's
maybe
a
not, but-
solo
Oh, that's right, yeah,
matchmaking.
matchmaking,
I would
yeah.
say that you wouldn't. I don't think you should ever have a specific like mercenary type playlist for trials and a team one because it's going to fracture. Like you just can't.
That's a
You
good
can't
point,
do that.
yeah.
We have way
Yeah.
too many playlists as it is, and it's fracturing the community, and it's a huge freaking problem.
Yeah.
If crossplay comes, then go for it. But it just doesn't.
Mhm.
It's not going to work. I
Yeah,
think
that's a good
what
point.
they could do is they could totally just allow you to go in there and match make with other people, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say like
I think that would work.
I think we need just better matchmaking tools like.
Yeah.
which we
Good
still don't
luck,
quite
though,
have, but-
matchmaking.
It's
in
that's
Trials.
a whole lot.
That's
to,
a fool's errand.
Gotta get your
Patrick
down.
Underwood
Carries.
says, Mesa, who is Vladimir?
That's just an old saying. We used to say, like, I'm out of here like Vladimir. I'm out of here last year. I'm out of here like whatever. It was just a Queens thing. Just a Queens, New York thing. So I ended the video by saying that because everyone has their outros.
From Vladimir.
I just couldn't think of one. So I said, I'm out of here like Vladimir. That's it.
It's like Audi 5000.
Exactly.
I left I'm out of here like last year. I've never heard that one.
Or like I'm out like Trout or something like
Yeah.
that.
Big Dan D88 says, what happens if we don't make the Fractalini goals? Will
Thank you.
we
Brian.
all get shafted from getting the title?
Trials gets postponed for another year. So
Yeah.
please invest your Fractalini.
Yeah, for the
Stop
love of
donating.
God,
Hold on to
Stop
mine.
it.
Fran,
Stop it.
I think it
Fran,
might be
Like, we're
please.
not
next
gonna
season.
get it.
Stop it.
See, this is what
We're
I'm
gonna
talking
hold on to
about.
it.
It's similar to Bastion. It's like, well, we're gonna get it anyway.
Dedicated
You
servers
really
on the
have to,
line,
like,
man.
stop
What if
playing
they
the game.
switch it up? Because also with super secrets and puzzles, we're used to getting a unique weapon, and we did not. So maybe they switch it up, and they don't just give it to us. Maybe we have to do it.
You ever
Maybe.
think of that?
You never know. You
Frankie
can never be
two
sure.
time?
Never thought of it. That being said, on like Bastion, at least we're not sure that it's Trials because they've never said that it is. So this could be that moment that we wanted of like we unlocked something and we're like, cool, you know. Versus Bastion, which we did not have that moment, except the puzzle being cool. And we're like, oh,
It's for something
Forever
that we
for
already
hire.
knew.
Forever for Hire says, I have 1,700 hours in the game and have never rated. Am I hardcore or casual?
I think
many
that's
hours?
pretty common, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's pretty hardcore, dude.
Because what is the percentage? Like less than
Yeah.
8%?
I was just about to ask. It used to be like a 10 to 15 percentile, but that was back in Destiny 1. I don't know what it is now. It wouldn't surprise me if it's like
I feel like
10
it's
or
the
below.
same, and I feel like the game has adjusted itself to not need rating as much for the stuff that you need. Like you don't really
like
have
dungeon.
a lot of specific top tier things coming out of raids so much. I
Yeah.
mean, there's definitely exotics that are PvE that are really good. Don't get me wrong, Anarchy, Thousand Voices, like all that obviously is good, but they're not set up in such a way where if you didn't get the Fatebringer, then it's like, bro, what have you been doing? You know?
Would you guys like it if they rotated as like an Age of Triumph where every week it rotated, like Leviathan was brought up to
Yeah.
power and the weapons had random rolls? And
Yes.
They brought up Eater
Yeah, that'd
of
be
Worlds,
great.
and I mean, there's only 2 weapons for it, but like they added more loot to it. I would love that, man.
Yeah, I think it'd be awesome to make
Definitely.
it relevant.
Yeah, I mean they're not matchmaking anyway, so it's like
Yeah.
once we launch the content, like why not? Other than the work to be done, you know.
Yeah.
But that would be cool.
Yeah, I'd love that. I also love them to revamp the enemies and add some champions in there when they do make it that featured week. I know that's probably way more difficult than I would anticipate, but it still would be nice to have champions in there to change up the playstyle a bit.
Yeah.
Skyline Show says, do you think we will get to wield the darkness power for a season to have something, or should a Dark Guardian subclass be made as permanent subclass option for each character?
That's what I'm hoping for
Yes.
for September. I'm hoping like new class of darkness.
Yeah,
you
I'm
like,
agreeing.
You
on
spec
that one,
into the
for sure.
depression tree and you're like, you're depressed. Darkness.
Yes.
Oh no, I have a 50% motivation debuff. Crap. How do I get out?
Skyline Show says, do you think we will get to wield... Oh, I just read that one. Ryan Lester says, would you rather be only a warlock? I am a warlock main for a month straight, or only play Anthem for a month straight?
I'm already a
Warlock
warlock main anyway. So.
I mean, I'd go with the warlock over playing Anthem. Yeah. If I could only play Anthem, that means I can't play Monster Hunter either. It means I can't play
Anthem
League of
2.0
Legends.
coming out?
I can't play anything.
As far as everybody listening is concerned, they think I'm a warlock anyways, so I can actually just skate by this.
True.
They'll think I'm a warlock. They'll
Skate
think I'm
by it.
floof by it.
Is there any truth to the rumors from Kotaku that they're completely revamping it or making a brand new Anthem to
Yeah, I
address
think so.
everything that was broken?
I'm assuming that was
the only reason I know any of that is from Jason Schreier, but I mean, he's been pretty reliable.
It makes sense to me because they continue to support the game with a pretty small community.
Yeah.
Instead of just letting it die completely. And they've been pretty quiet as well about, I mean, which is natural, whatever the heck else that team's been doing. And so, I don't know. We've seen a lot of changes over there. So I totally believe that.
I hope they do.
Is it a
I mean,
2 or is it a reboot? Like, I don't really know.
Yeah.
Because they said 2.0, whatever that means.
they can't charge money for it. You know, I mean, they can't.
It's just got to be free.
How are they going to pull that one off then?
There.
If they're
It's
like,
going to
guys,
cost
we
money.
fixed Anthem and we put a 2 on it and you have to buy a whole new game, like people are going to just
Lose their minds. I don't know.
But I think it will be a new game and experience in that sense. Like it will be like, it won't just be like we've tried to fix it, because that won't work. You know, oh, we've added more enemies to the free roam.
No, it
and,
needs to be.
It'll be a big thing. Like, wait, we heard you. Here's what the original vision. Here's this new whatever, single player, campaign plus the PvE, matchmaking content and all that.
yeah.
I hope it is. The core of it, the javelins felt great.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
a couple strongholds felt great, but otherwise I was like, the loot's like whatever.
Loot was bad, just straight up. Yeah.
There are bones there to build a good game.
Yeah. And it's going to be the new Destiny killer, and then it's going to come out.
Oh,
People are going to move on.
Can't wait for
Anything
the new
could
Destiny
happen.
Killer.
Yeah.
Iron Man.
Travis Wolf says, I know DCP loves warlocks, but seriously, have any of you tried out Top True Dawnblade since the subclass changes?
Oh, hells yeah, man. Top Tree with Sunbracers? Oh my god. For like Altars of Sorrow or anything with regards to I mean, you can even throw Monte Carlo on it, but yeah, just try Top Tree with Sunbracers and consume the grenade, and you'll have nonstop grenades and melee.
I'm going to assume the only warlock Tefty plays is handheld supernova.
Yeah, I would think so. That's
Definitely.
that adds up.
Yeah, exactly.
That seems
definitely.
very legit.
I'm going to go with everything that Sean said.
The one thing that sucks though is that you get your supers faster, but the super doesn't last. And when you're used to the bottom tree, the super will last forever if you're killing low tier ads. But for the nonstop, like there's nothing more fun than the new melee ability, which is like throwing those bolts of fire out and this and that, getting the kill and then seeing everything recharge really fast. It's a lot of fun.
I need to try it still, actually. It just reminded me.
Try it out, man. It's fun.
Yeah.
OSU Hoops says, why can't they put trials behind 5,000 Fractalinis, i.e. required to
Nice.
get emblem? this would slow cheaters who would need to grind Fractalini to get into trials.
Okay, see, this is the problem,
What?
right? There's a lot of things that they could do to stop people with their playing on their own accounts getting into trials and hacking and DDoSing and cheating and all that kind of stuff, right? Make people pay. Maybe they don't want to pay. You could have them have to play X amount of hours before you're allowed to play trials. But what they're most likely going to do is run their website and get someone else's account, and they're just going to DDoS and hack and cheat on that account. And then you will get banned. They will not get banned. And then they just get another account and they just do it again. So that is the thing that I'm really struggling to figure out, like how they could stop recovs happening. Because you could even say recovs are against the rules. But as soon as they catch you, they're only doing one trials card, right?
Yeah.
So as soon they're not going to catch you within like one trials card. That would be impossible. Yeah. So I don't know how to solve that. You can solve people who are cheating on their own account, or at least try and diminish them wanting to do it by having it behind a paywall or a certain amount of hours played or whatever it is. But recovs are tough.
Yeah.
That's my biggest worry with trials.
Same.
When you put it like that, it sounds tough to figure out.
That's tough, Brian. Tough to figure out. Even this thing is, even if they IP ban people, you can use a VPN. If they ban you by your equipment, they can spoof their equipment. So it's or if they're making.
How about I just come to the house and beat the shit out of you? This is a service I actually offer.
But if they're charging, how much are they going to charge for
beating
trials
LLC?
card? At least $50. $50 per trials card. They could just go buy whatever it is that you banned them from, the piece of equipment or the console or whatever it was. They can just go buy a new one. Just go buy another thing.
Yeah.
And then just keep doing it.
That's a tough call, honestly. So, yeah.
Lord Navarone says, deal or no deal. Bungie brings back trials, but also self-res warlocks and one-hit sticky nades.
Oh,
that's still around. You could go back to Destiny 1 and you're right there.
Trials.
Yeah.
You're back in it. There's no trials.
It's still there.
Yeah,
no trials.
PvP, though. Please no.
Yeah, please no.
Is that.
I would not enjoy it.
I'm gonna say no. I refuse the premise of your question.
Yeah, that's
That's
just bad, right?
Yeah, I just dislike this.
You need more Fractalini. You need to invest more Fractalini.
All this Fractalini talk's getting me hungry, man. That's what I'm having for dinner.
I got a question for Sean. Another one. You recently picked up a Les Paul guitar,
Yes, I did.
right?
Ooh, did you?
Yep.
A standard?
Finally, no, a custom shop aged historic that has all. It looks like it's been beaten up from 1960 something or whatever.
Jimmy
Nice.
Page.
But that's usually as you get older, you have to have a Les Paul. All the other guitars are all ESPs. But I now that I got I should get my Elgato key lights. A subscriber made a dream come true of getting a guitar that I've been looking for probably 15 to 20 years. And a guy in Germany had it sitting in storage for 19 years.
Wow.
Wow.
Actually, you know what? Let me just show it on
Yeah, please.
For our audio
This is what I'm
listeners,
talking about.
Sean is
this
grabbing
right
it.
here is
So you got to head to our YouTube channel.
let me get my thing right here.
Oh, it's got like a gridiron, like stair step.
I'll probably make a
texture
whole video on
almost.
So James Hetfield from Metallica, I'm like a huge fanboy of his, right?
It's an ESP.
So this is a ESP Explorer, right? And it's got chrome, it's got black diamond plate all over it, right?
Beautiful.
And but the craziest thing is that it literally does not have one single ding or mark or anything on it. And
he had it in storage for 19 years?
Probably like 15 years, I think.
Wow.
Because it came out in 99. But the craziest thing is it literally has the hang tags from 99, and it comes with a certificate of authenticity signed by James
Wow.
Hetfield from Metallica.
Wow.
Really?
So, and it's not even his autograph, because like when he autographs stuff, he just says JH and then just says whatever. It has his literally, like, it has his signature and stuff like that. But I couldn't, the guy from Germany would not ship this out of Germany. So a guy, Jan, shout out to you over on Twitter, lives in Hamburg, Germany. I wired him the money.
Wow.
He then handed the guy cash and went through hell to ship this thing for me.
Wow.
That is
I am
amazing.
literally-
That's amazing.
That is amazing.
I am never ever selling this thing. I'm just gonna keep it on its stand and
That's
play
so
it every
cool.
now and then, that I can or whatever. But the Les Paul's new. That's my new little fiddle, to play around with.
That's great, Sean. Do you play guitar every day?
Dope, man.
Yes, yeah. I do. You know what it is? I took 5 years off because of YouTube and my old apartment. I used to buy and sell guitars. I had a serious guitar addiction in the 2000s. I probably owned close to 90 to 100 guitars. I'd buy, sell, tons of amps and all this sort of stuff. And then took 5 years off from playing. I was in bands. I've written hundreds of songs, but the problem is with my old apartment, I had neighbors and this and that. And with YouTube being so busy, that's another big thing with me with having free time is I need time just to be able to play.
Yeah.
Because it's like a total stress relief and this and that. So with the place where I live now, I just have a neighbor that lives downstairs and he will text me when he's not there. And in my living room, I have a diesel VH4 and a 4x12 speaker cabinet.
Oh my
Now, this thing is 100 watts. And this thing just levels the house. So as soon as he leaves, he just texts me and I let that thing rip.
That is
And
so
then
funny.
when he is home,
Does your street
On my-
neighbors complain?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
no, they can't hear it. They probably can hear it, but I'm
They
not
can't
gonna play it
identify
like-
where it's at. They're like, that's someone.
They're probably not going to play it, but they're probably like, why is all this brutal metal coming from?
Yeah.
I hear the ghost of James.
Dude, when I
Every time I go down this street at certain times, it's just loud metal music coming from the walls. I don't know
loud.
where.
Funnily enough, when I was young and learning, I had a crate amp that I would, when my parents were gone, and for whatever reason, occasionally I'd put it in the window, set it out to face out of my house into the neighborhood and play like. For
Oh my
like a few
God.
minutes! And I never got in trouble. I was shocked.
Yeah.
Just cranking Metallica riffs.
Amazing.
But then the cool thing too is at nighttime. Hi, honey. Oh, my
She
girlfriend's
heard you.
looking through the door.
It's like, don't you dare turn that on.
Is that they really changed up this whole amp simulation thing or amp modeling thing when this and that, which I didn't realize was that good. So I have an iMac here with the Lexicon Lambda and 2 Rocket KRK speakers, which you have to you probably know about that.
Oh, yeah,
for
for
like, interface stuff. So now they have a diesel VH4 amp simulator, which I plug the guitar in, and late at night I could play at low volumes
With headphones.
with GarageBand through these speakers or headphones, and just practice my scales and just practice my palm muting and riffs and
That's
stuff.
awesome.
The emulation is the light years different from like 20 years ago, 15
Yeah,
years ago. It's crazy.
It's like I like it, but I hate it at the same time because like Metallica, James plays a VH4, so of course I have to have a VH4, and he used to have a rig which is a VH4 and then a Mesa, and my name Mesa Sean comes from Mesa.
Oh, it comes from Mesa Boogie. That's right.
Yeah, so he used to run a rig with all that and a Roland JC20 for cleans, but they hated shipping those huge rigs. So now they use a Fractal audio systems that goes right to the house PA. Now to me as a purist, their tone sounds like dog shit. But then when you listen to Guns N' Roses, Slash still is rocking his Marshalls from 1987. He's still using his Les Pauls from 1987. So his live tone is straight up Marshall cabinets with Shure SM57s right in front of it. And live, it's going to sound like 1987 Slash. You know what I mean? With Metallica, it sounds perfect to them, but to me, it sounds like it's so fizzy, and his clean tone does not sound like a Roland JC120. And I'm kind of disappointed. But
what's interesting for me as an audio engineer is I love the fiddle factor when it comes to microphone placement, and not being able to get my hands on the actual microphone or change the microphone or change the preamp and all that and adjust placements on that stuff is what puts me off from emulation. Emulation is great to just suddenly get an idea down super quick. But when you want to like lock something in for a recording, I want to fiddle with the microphone 100%.
Because even these like these simulators, because in GarageBand you can choose a cabinet, choose a mic, and then move it in front of the quote unquote virtual speaker and stuff. But the Diesel VH4 plugin does have like 150 different cabinets that you could choose from, and I just
but they're not modeling your room or your soundstage.
That's a Diesel VH4 with the actual Diesel 4x12 with Celestion 30s. I think it has rear loaded speaker cabinet and stuff, and I just run like pedals go through like the channel inserts and the parallel loop and stuff like that. So but like the whole amp modeling things, I know a lot of bands use it because it's you go into a venue and every venue is going to sound different, because we used to, like with my old bands, we used to play gigs all the time. And depending on the sound engineer, sometimes I can't hear myself. So what do? Turn around and I turn it up. And then my singer, he can't hear himself because he doesn't, like we're not using in-ear, like we just have earplugs on. And then my drummer, my old drummer from my last band, he hit really, really loud. So it's he and I are making too much noise. My singer can't hear himself. And it just becomes a cluster F, But I can understand how these bands now, they use those in-ear monitors and everything, and it's just easier for them to send the sound right to the house, and it goes right out the PAs.
Oh, totally. It's convenient.
And they can just do it from there. So,
yeah. Absolutely.
Chops Calisthenics says, if the last 2 video game characters you played, all right, we're going to narrow this one down. So the last video game character you played, you now have to marry. Is it going to be a successful marriage?
Are we not counting characters that we made ourselves?
The last character you played.
So like my hunter?
Yeah, my hunter?
I feel like that's pretty successful.
It's the same it's an uninteresting question for us. It's all the same.
Yeah, I would have to go with like non-character
outside
created.
of Destiny. Let's say outside of Destiny.
My Monster Hunter character.
Mine would be the wolf from Sekiro.
Yeah?
That'd be
I
interesting.
don't know. What do you think?
Wait, what was
Fran?
the question?
You and the wolf getting
What would
married.
it be like, or like
Yeah, would it be a
successful?
successful marriage?
would be successful? That's going to be a tough one,
I don't
You
feel like
finish
that's
your
going to be a
especially with the
happy marriage.
prosthetic arm. I think.
Well, who
Oh,
knows
right.
what
You got
you could
against,
put on that
amputees.
prosthetic arm. Fran, imagine all the tools
True.
he could attach
And the
to it.
toys.
He's got the rot going on.
You're making a lot of.
Yeah, that
points.
rot is not a.
never dies.
You
Actually,
think that catches?
Can
He
always
never
resurrect.
dies,
like
yeah.
So
He can do all the very dangerous housework. He could completely
What kind of
wall
housework
under
are you
electricity. All the wiring, that's dangerous, right? He'll be
All the
totally fine. He can
Could it
fix
be
the
worse
roof.
for him? Could he get shocked more with like a metal? I guess it's not.
He could
metal
change the
prosthetic, I don't know.
prosthetic to be a tool to help him do all the housework.
It's true. Just
He
turn it
sounds
into like a
amazing.
skillet and make breakfast. Yeah, I'm liking more about how this sounds. Okay.
I feel like it's going to be a very quiet and depressing marriage. Not a big sharer, the wolf.
Yeah. So what is it for you guys, non-Destiny?
Well, so I won't count characters that I've actually created because that's basically just me. I would go. So last night I played League of Legends and I played a character called Sejuani. She's a very
I love
beautiful.
her sauce.
She, me too, Briar. Me too. She is beautiful, but she also has like this giant pig thing that she rides around on. So I mean,
She's
she's
got a
like a
pig mount?
warrior.
Oh yeah, it's a
A
giant
warrior, like
boar.
warrior boar lady,
Tusks.
but she's hot. So
Yeah, she is.
yeah, she is.
Look
So
at
our
her now.
marriage is gonna be great.
She's got like a like a whip with like a crystal
protect
sword
me.
edge.
Yeah,
Okay.
she'll protect
Gem on
me,
the
and
end.
she's beautiful.
I have to look this up now.
Wow.
Yeah, you almost Google Sejuani. Sejuani.
Oh, you may say
Sejuani.
who's the last video game character you played as?
It
It's
was
not
my
Destiny.
hunter.
Not
So that's
Destiny.
me.
Outside of Destiny, yeah.
I haven't played anything else besides Destiny.
That was the
to be
appropriate
frank.
response I think they were looking for.
Yeah,
You
that's
passed
really
the
all
test.
I mean, I can't think of any. No, because even Battlefront 2 or Anthem,
Okay.
they're all just dudes. So no, I don't have an answer for it actually.
Can't be in a successful marriage with.
Yeah, I mean, you have no choice here. Is the
Yeah.
point? It's like,
The
Well,
question is,
Hunter-
will it work?
last? Will it
What's with
work?
the hunter? So I don't know if because if I don't get the dinner ready, she's gonna use the throwing blades at me all the time. So
Ooh, yeah.
I don't know.
Hunters are very demanding.
She has to tether me to not leave the house.
So the last one that I didn't make was the goose from Untitled Goose Game.
Oh, I like this. This is definitely illegal, though. You're going to have to keep this one on the down low.
Gonna have to draft some documents, maybe move to a remote location.
I think Canada will do it, right?
Canada should be okay, right? Goose-friendly marriage. Anytime I would know immediately if I'm doing something wrong. I'm getting squawked at,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Squawk.
That particular goose, though, definitely likes to fuck with people.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like you're going to be on the receiving end of that all the time.
True.
He's constantly going to be like hiding. Oh, what Where'd my wallet go? I lost my keys.
My keys again?
Goose.
It's 15 minutes till the movie. We got to go. Yeah. I think I can make it work. It'd work.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
The game I'm playing right now, I'm absolutely addicted to, is called RoboCop versus Terminator,
Ooh.
and you play as RoboCop,
So you'll be with RoboCop.
and that is a no-brainer. Me and RoboCop are going to get along like two peas in a pod. This is going to be a marriage made in heaven. I'm very excited about our future together.
Me too.
Didn't it in like the first RoboCop, somebody got a ticket for like using the bathroom or something? Or am I remembering that wrong?
I don't
swear
remember
there's
that
something.
part.
Maybe I'm mixing up two parts of that movie, but I swear
I
that was
love
like the
that
future. Like somebody went to take like a crap and then they got like a ticket or something. I might be making that up now, but I'll look the chat to figure it out.
Anthony
Oh, maybe it
Ruggiero
was
says,
Judge Dredd. That's right.
"This is for all. If you could be a fly on the wall, which room would you choose?
Oh,
Cade and
man.
Eris, Teenage Zavala and his mom, or Shax and Mara?"
Shax and Mara.
Shax and Mara.
You go full
100%.
perv and just watch that happen.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
shame.
No shame.
I gotta see. Shax is my favorite character. I love Lenny James. He's one of my favorite voice actors. He's from Snatch and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Love that dude.
Yeah.
So
Listening to him have sex too is going to be hilarious. He's going to be a talker, right? He's going to be a loud sex guy.
yeah,
Did you
I know.
guys hear that the community
You're
is
crushing it.
actually very upset by all of this?
I did
What?
see some of that.
Have
a
you
little.
have you heard it? So I
What?
saw it mostly on Twitter.
Wait, what?
I don't feel like I can fully represent the
Are we
upset
canceling Shax?
and anger. Wow. So during the Crimson Days trailer, they showed Shax and Mara. Not like together, but kind of just like pictures of
I
them
saw
put
them
together.
sitting
They were
next together.
implying though in the
Yeah.
trailer that
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
together.
So, but people are upset that they're showing the Shax and Mara relationship when sure how do you say it? Sjur
Segura?
SJUR.
Oh,
I don't know who that is.
Yeah,
Sure.
I don't know who that is.
Sure and Mara have a thing going on in the lore. They are like got a thing going on,
But didn't
Who is this other
Shax have a
person?
thing going on in the lore as well?
but they saying this is an actual relationship.
Wait, Mara and
So-
Zur?
No,
Just kidding. I know,
no.
but I don't
Well,
know
yeah.
who's Zur.
I'd pay to watch
Mara-
that too. Actually,
Sure.
So
Totally.
people were
If you're into the
upset that
tentacles, man, that's
that
upset.
hasn't been hasn't been shown at all.
Oh.
Basically,
Hmm.
I
This is
can't.
Sure
Like I said,
Ido.
I'm not upset about it, so I can't say why everyone's upset. But I just saw the people were upset.
Of all
And that's
things to
what
get
they
pissed
wanted.
off over.
But she's dead, according to the lore, right?
She's the Wishender Bow Lady.
But she's
So
dead.
the only
though.
thing
That's
that
why
we've
she's
seen of
probably
her
not.
in game is the statue. So it would be a little strange.
She's dead.
Even if
Shax is
even if
alive.
Mara and Shur had like this whole thing going on and they were married and it was amazing, it was the best thing ever. In terms of in game, the only thing that we've seen is her as a statue. So if they showed that in a trailer, people would be like, "Huh?"
That'd be
So
weird.
it's
yeah, I don't care about any of that.
I just
Yeah.
think it's recreational. It's Twitter. Twitter is recreational
She-
outrage. People
They
just
found
wake up.
themselves each other on Tinder.
Twinder.
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 Boy, Monk at TOS. I was just thinking she should have been, like in like a chair, like a rocking chair, looking at an old portrait, sort of longingly. That would have been
That could
the
have worked.
appropriate lore, apparently.
Maybe Shax was trying to put the moves on, and we didn't see what happened. She was like, "Get out of here!" or
Yeah.
something. You know what I mean?
Story's not
Like,
finished yet.
it's just Twitter. People always love to wake up and be pissed off about something or whatever. And
Yeah, and then why they call it woke, because they wake up pissed.
yeah, exactly.
Oh man, of all the things to get pissed off over.
I know.
Exactly.
Because
Richard
it's two
says-
ladies having a relationship and you are not showing off you're showing the heterosexual relationship and not the lesbian one.
Did
I'll
they
watch
not
that
show
too.
any same gender characters in the?
Barb's like,
trailer?
I'll be a fly
Thought
on
they
that
did.
wall too. I don't mind. I don't care. It's okay.
Yeah, I'll see Mara and Mara. Can I see that relationship? Like, sure.
At the end of the day, no one cares. Yeah.
Zachary Richard says chocolate chip cookies or chocolate cake.
I'll go with cookies.
Cookies.
Definitely.
You know when you
cookies.
get the perfectly made, delicious, soft, warm cookie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
cookies,
Cake, I can
that's the
only
correct
eat
answer.
a little bit of the chocolate cake, and then I start to feel a little like sickly because
Yeah.
it's too much.
That's a lot of sweetness.
Yeah, it's too much.
It's also really tough for me to find a good chocolate cake that's gluten free.
yeah.
And I just think chocolate cakes are tough across the board to get right. That's going to be fluffy, delicious, full of chocolate. It's also really expensive to do a legit chocolate cake that's going to be hitting the mark because you got to use some quality chocolate from like a baking standpoint. It's got to be some really, really good chocolate. And so cookies easier. Easy.
yeah.
Also portable. You put a cookie in your pocket.
Yeah.
True.
Bite says, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
69 Fractalini.
69
That's the right
Fractalini.
answer.
Yep. That is the right answer.
Agreed.
Dayman says, can we
Mr.
get an
Sean
update
was
on
not available
Holtzman's
for
latest shenanigans? What is
He
Hot
deleted
Topic
all
is
of
booming,
our.
right?
He deleted all of our in-game lore, our materials. That was all Patrick.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was it.
Wow.
He found the bug and was like, "Don't tell him." Ship it.
He also made
thought-
throwing knives auto target to people's heads at times in the PvP.
Yeah, and I understood he made the Bastion quest. That's what I.
Yes, he made Bastion too.
Yeah, that was all him. So tweet at him. Let him know what you thought of it.
Yeah.
Dreadnought says, what is the past tense of the word spell? Is it spelled or spelt?
If you're in
Spelled.
England, it's spelt.
Oh, is it?
Is it spelt like that?
Yeah.
I was just thinking that. Such a dad joke. It's great.
Hugo Rune 79 says, would you rather be immune from getting chlamydia or have free Kit Kats for life?
I'm married. I'm
Free
fine.
Kit Kats for life. Yeah.
I was gonna go with Kit
Like,
Kat.
you have that many running?
you're-
I have made it this
You
far
kn-
chlamydia free.
Yeah.
I'm pretty high on my chances, to
Like,
be honest.
if you happen to be a prostitute, then,
Yeah,
then maybe you're
that's
going to
true.
pick the
Yeah,
chlamydia free
That's a
thing.
weird
Although you
question. I
still
don't know
could get like way worse things than chlamydia if you are a prostitute.
Yeah,
so
right.
maybe it's not that worth it. Go
But
with the Kit
think of-
Kats. Have you seen the flavors of Kit Kats?
Yeah.
There's so
Green
many.
tea Kit Kat.
They're
This is
good.
I'll take the
best.
Kit Kats. You know.
Yeah, I'll take some
Kit
Kit
Kat.
Kats.
Yeah.
Give me
I'll
the
take
Kit
some
Kats.
gluten-free Kit Kats.
Here it is. You got to have really good chocolate for gluten-free Kit Kats.
Yeah.
If you're making them.
As a matter of fact, I'm not going to touch the Kit Kat.
Leah's No Pro says, tomorrow's the worldwide EMP that knocks out everything electrical for 1,000 years. What would you do with your lives after this event?
Relax.
After. Just relax.
Take a
right?
nap.
Yeah. Play guitar,
Uh,
dude.
I'd become a gardener. I will grow vegetables, and that's gonna be my contribution to the community.
That seems like a good way to go. I am going to buy barley from Watts and make beer. And that will be my
Ooh.
contribution.
Yeah.
I'll raise animals and take care of them.
Nice.
I like it. Animals are nice.
I always thought like if I ever won the lottery and just never had to work again, I would totally just open up animal shelters and stuff.
Yeah.
I like
You know?
that.
It's like
No
my little
Ferraris or nothing?
We can go to the shelters and we
Uh-huh.
can get all the animals out, and then we can just like live among the animals.
Yeah.
And I'll grow potatoes. There we go.
I'm going to
That's what I'm doing.
make antibiotics for chlamydia and gonorrhea and stuff because it's really going around after this EMP. So I feel like I'll be like super popular.
How long does
Because
the
you'll have
EMP
so
last?
much time on your hands.
Turns
You're more
out with no
likely-
TV and no video games, people got a lot of time to fuck.
You just spelt out what I was thinking.
Isn't an EMP like not? It's only like a day or something, right? Stuff's gonna
This
come
is
back
a-
online.
No,
is,
it's like so bad. It, like,
1,000
ruins
years, man.
All the
1,000 years.
satellites.
Oh, it
yeah.
said 1,000 years
They
in the
can-
question. I half
Yeah.
listened.
Well, they can, but they can also be so bad. Like it's funny because it's like one of those things that they say could happen. It like ruins all the satellites and all these like major points of power and everything would start to collapse. Is the idea if it was powerful enough? Like they say that could happen from the sun. Like that's one.
Oh
example,
yeah,
I think.
sun
like a really
EMP
massive-
thing.
Unless
solar
I've
flare.
misunderstood.
Solar flare, yeah.
Maybe it's just like wives' tales, but I think so. Like it could be so strong that things like they all get blown up and destroyed and stuff.
Yeah,
And then the collapse.
Go on a long
Hopefully
walk.
Destiny 3 comes out first.
1,000-year walk.
See how things are looking when you get back.
A little vision questing.
Yeah.
Bring an acoustic guitar.
How many we got left, Briar?
Two questions.
For Fractalini.
Key play says nuggets, tenders, or fingers. Wrong. Wings.
That is the right
Dang.
answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Briar, as usual on these.
I'd have
types
to
of
go with
questions.
nuggets if it's out of those three, though.
Yeah, that was the first.
I'm gonna
thing
go
that-
with nuggets too. Yeah,
Wings.
nuggets. I
It's
like
not
the
out
better.
of those
It's not an option, Briar.
Wings
is
are
not an
always the
option.
right answer.
I would say wings, but I'll have to go nuggets.
I'm sticking with wings.
Dreadnought says, last question of the night. Dreadnought says, would you rather eat a chocolate pudding that tastes like shit or shit that tastes like chocolate pudding?
Okay, but
It
so
just tastes
listen,
like it.
listen.
Have we been thinking about this
They
lots?
look the same, right? They look the same. They look
Don't look
exactly the same.
Lots. I'm gonna put
So
them down in front of you. You tell me they look the same.
They look the same. You can make them look the same.
Okay.
Go with the poop.
In
that tastes
absence
good.
of smell
Yeah.
and
Yeah, what do they smell like?
I
They-
assume it
they-
all smells like chocolate pudding.
I'm highly suspect of your chocolate pudding supplier, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Do they make chunky chocolate?
Well, I
pudding? Is that
definitely
what
don't
I'm
want to
saying?
eat chocolate pudding that tastes like
Can,
poop.
can we
do
go
I?
with
Yeah,
can we go with
no way.
wings
Why
on
is
this
there
one
corn
too?
in my chocolate pudding all the time?
Wait, question. Follow-up question. Do you get to eat chocolate pudding for free all the time because all the poop in the world tastes like chocolate pudding to you?
But what about the E.
Eat
coli?
chocolate.
Yeah, I don't think this is healthy living.
Yeah.
Yeah, because according to the
Depends on
description,
whose poop you're eating, Briar. Maybe
Does
it's
it?
very healthy.
I don't think so. I think it's still going to be questionable bacteria in there.
That's not gluten free. I don't think shit is gluten free.
It could be.
Yeah, this is.
it is if it's Tef's.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
you know that's gluten free.
Oh my god.
So Tefs, you have to eat your own shit just to make it gluten free.
But it
Good
tastes like
God.
chocolate. Chocolate corn. Is that what we said?
Well, no, you can either you can have real chocolate pudding, but it tastes like actual fecal matter.
No, no way.
No,
It
I don't
just
want
tastes
that.
like it though, but it actually still.
But I don't
But
want
it's
it.
still chocolate pudding.
yeah.
But if you
I
have
definitely wouldn't want that.
chocolate pudding tasting fecal matter, you're going to get E. coli.
Gonna know it's
Yeah.
gonna go all in. You can
Yeah, I
find me
wouldn't
hanging
eat
out at
either
your
is the
local
answer.
public bathroom.
Yeah, the right
with
answer is chicken
free
wings.
pudding.
Yeah, why would you eat either? Is the question.
Wings.
Wings, obviously.
I'm out there eating corn, man. That's what I want.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of corn.
You jumped to corn and now you want corn? You like this corn and that
Sweet
crap.
corn
Now I
and-
really want some
yeah.
cob in the corn.
Brandon's just hungry.
I'm so hungry.
There's a lot of food questions tonight.
Right?
Yeah.
Testing.
This just happens. Oh, that's the show, right?
Later.
That's the
That's
last
it.
question? All
That was
right.
it?
Well, Sean, thank you very much for coming back on the show and enduring the
Guys,
the
thanks,
crazy questions.
Thanks so much for having. Yeah, I always love coming on the show. So anytime, man.
Yeah.
I'm always welcome to come on. You guys are
Love you on.
Yeah, man. Thanks
so,
for being
So
on.
much fun to be on here too. Yeah, definitely.
So what's where can people find you? What's your schedule like nowadays?
Yeah, they can find me on YouTube and Twitter at MesaSean. Pretty much upload daily content, and then I'll stream on YouTube. Usually when there's like a live event or something big going down, rather than just trying to make a video on it, I'll just fire up the live stream, and then channel members and stuff. I'll play with them on PC, and we'll fill up the chat and we'll figure things out. Because a lot of times I need chat to help me figure things out. As to
Same.
Mesa,
Same.
go look at this. Like I remember Godspeed, this guy Percy was trying to tell me on stream the other day about the whole time loss thing, that you buy the weapon frames and then you use the Fractalin and the
Yep.
400 and like I was like, look, I'm ranked 230 whatever, like I don't care about that stuff. And then I realized afterwards, wait, that's a great thing for people who want to finish their ranks for all that free
Yeah.
XP and
Yep.
hunting god rolls with the glitch from the perfect paradox, so you could buy 6 or 7 at a time. So
Exactly.
in the comments of that video, everyone was just like, oh, poor Piercy, this and that. So, but yeah, so you can just find me on the tubes.
Awesome. Yeah. Make sure to check out MesaSean if you haven't already. Awesome, dude.
Thanks,
Fran, where can people find you?
You can find me right here on Twitch TV/FM3_.
I am Miss 5000 Watts. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Just look for Miss 5000 Watts.
All right, Briar Rabbit. You can find me looking through my pudding, looking for corn.
And I'm Tefty Teft. You can talk to me at Teft and catch my streams, twitch.tv/TeftyTeft. And I'll be pondering what exactly cob on the corn is. Since I said that earlier, and I thought it was pretty funny. A little cob on the corn action, right?
Cob on the corn.
Delicious cob on the corn. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate all the support. If you're watching live or on YouTube or on our various podcast syndications like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and if you're a Patreon member supporting the show, thank you very much, guys. Really appreciate all the support.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you
Thanks,
next
everybody.
time. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.